Hello, good morning and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denise Agyebeng and our very first story. Health Minister Kpebu is raising concerns over the use of Zipline medical drones, revealing that most deliveries include items like condoms, textbooks and uniforms rather than critical medical supplies. Only 12% of deliveries had to reach communities, with emergency medical deliveries accounting for just 4%. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba reports.
Speaking at the presentation ceremony,
according to Zipline, it operates multiple distribution centers covering many regions. Through this network, the service reaches hundreds of clinics and hospitals that otherwise might struggle with road access, supply chain delays, or stockouts. It says the drone deliveries have gone beyond just vaccines. They now include blood products, essential medicines, antivenom, and emergency supply. Recent reports, however, indicate that Zipline has shut down 3 of its operational centers due to an outstanding 174 million debt owed by government. Minority Leader Alexander Afenyomakin alleged on the floor of Parliament last week that a contract had been cancelled. Majority Leader Mahama Yariga called for a cancellation of the contract, describing it as unjustifiable. The Health Minister at the Government Accountability Series questioned Zipline's deal as he says the drones are delivering non-critical supplies like condoms, exercise books, school uniforms, and more. He said government is engaging the company on the way forward as it pushes to secure value for money.
Apart from that, their services was to concentrate on the hard-to-reach areas and emergency services. But upon review of the activities, what we have realized is that the hard-to-reach areas constitute only 12% of the activities, 12%, 1-2. And emergency services is 4% of the activities. And it will interest you to know some of the items they fly. Items like condom, blood donor cards, not blood donor cards, mosquito nets, food and nutrition items, adhesive tapes, syringes and needles, education materials, among other things, textbooks, exercise books, uniforms, and a lot more. So these are some of the items they have been flying. And so when we came to office, we think that there must be value for money. And therefore, we are engaging them. So if you hear that we are not engaging Zipline, it's not true. We have met more than 3 times, and we are still engaging them to know how we can have value for money. And that is what His Excellency the President has directed us to do.
Kpebu said although the former health minister said the government was not going to pay for the services of the drones, government is paying a little over $500,000 every month for the services of the drones.
$88,000 per center per month. $88,000 per center per month. So if you do the computation, we are paying more than, because we have 6 centers, so we are paying a little over $500,000 every month for the services of the drones. What is more interesting, and I think everybody needs to know, is the fact that in the beginning of this contract, the idea was that we were not going to use government of Ghana money to pay the services of the drones. And I have the Hansards here during the debate on the floor of the House.
He says that beginning next year, government will increase tariffs under the National Health Insurance Scheme for service providers with an average hike of about 120%.
Because it is something that the service providers have been complaining about, that the tariffs we give them are unrealistic. And so government has taken the decision to increase the tariffs about 120% on average. And I believe this is going to be a game changer.
From health, let's talk about power. Households in Ghana with excess electricity will soon be able to sell back to the national grid to improve renewable energy generation in Ghana. This is according to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, which has officially launched a new platform for the net metering component of the Scaling Up Renewable Energy Program STREP to enable the buyback of excess power. My colleague Namoko has more in the following report. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, in partnership with the Swiss Embassy, has launched a new digital platform under the Scaling Up Renewable Energy Program STREP to allow Ghanaians with solar panels connect to the national grid and sell surplus electricity, encouraging cleaner energy use while reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Speaking at the launch, the Deputy Minister of Energy, Richard Jan Mensah, said the program is the cornerstone of Ghana's sustainable energy future.
As Ghana strives towards a sustainable, resilient energy landscape, the Scaling Up Renewable Energy Program forms the cornerstone. The STREP is contributing to the overall national renewable target of 10% renewable penetration in our electricity generation by 2030. Our non-hydro renewable capacity stands at 280 megawatts, representing about 5% of the national mix. With optimism, we are looking forward to achieve 7% by 2027 through strategic rollout of STREP.
Meanwhile, the Swiss ambassador Simone Geiger highlighted that the platform empowers Ghanaians to become prosumers, both producing and consuming their own electricity. She noted that the seamless online system allows homes, businesses and public institutions to actively participate in the country's clean energy transition.
This platform will support document uploads, application tracking, approvals, monitoring of installed systems, reporting and data management, all of which are, of course, essential for efficient implementation and accountability. The platform will also serve as a powerful national database to track capacity installed and its geographic distribution, and act as an information center for everybody and anybody interested in using solar power. So together, let's build a future where Ghana stands as a leader in sustainable development, where Ghanaian homes are powered by free sunshine and Ghanaian businesses thrive thanks to lower energy costs.
Namoko's report, read to you. Now, the headmaster of Asin Manso Senior High School, Eric Nyako, is urging the Ministry of Education and key stakeholders to prioritize the completion of abandoned Get Fund project on the school's campus. Addressing the school's 60th anniversary celebration, he noted that although Asin Manso SHS continues to excel academically despite its infrastructural limitations, the timely completion of the stalled project is crucial in enhancing teaching and learning.
The 60th anniversary celebrations of the Asin Manso Senior High School was on the theme, A Journey Through Time, 60 years of impactful and inspirational secondary education, the role of stakeholders. During the speech and prize-giving ceremony marking the occasion, old students of the school and chairman for the ceremony, James Francis Brew, called the day a celebration of academic achievements.
It is expected that every good student of great amounts naturally imbibes this virtue. Today, we celebrate not only our history, but also the present, and look forward with optimism. We celebrate our academic achievements, our records in the national science and math quiz, our athletic victories, our artistic expressions, and many moments of joy that have defined the school.
Headmaster of the school, Eric Nyako, outlining uncompleted Get Fund projects in the school, appealed to government and stakeholders for support.
Yeah, I'm appealing to the Minister of Education to come to our aid. But Asin Manso is in need of furniture. So 3 days ago, I read that he's going to give one of the secondary schools in Accra some furniture. So we are also appealing to him that he should come to our aid to give us furniture, classroom chairs, as well as dining hall tables and chairs. And like you saw today, we are doing our best. Though we don't have enough infrastructure, but with the population and the dedication of masters and the rest. We are doing our best to try to accommodate the students that we have. So we are appealing to the minister to come to our aid to give the furniture, especially monodex and then iron beds. We also need the government to make sure that they complete the completion structure, the get plan projects. They are all at the almost finishing stage, but we cannot use them because they are not completed.
Member of Parliament for Ascent South, Reverend John Intim Fojo, praised the school for its efforts in churning out quality contributors to society.
Ascent also has produced notable personalities, professors, captains of industries, politicians, doctors, teachers, nurses, many engineers, many walks of life. And we want to go on this determination to want to make positive impact in society. So every help in that regard, to see the timeless completion of the ongoing project is very much appreciated. And those are progress specifically to the Ministry of Education.
From Asen Manso, Abigail Lesal Nkrumah reports for JoyNews.
And from education, let's talk about social protection. The Ghana Federation of Disability Organizations is calling for stronger laws to protect persons with disabilities, saying current legislation has not kept pace with global standards. They want that barriers to education, healthcare, employment, and public facilities continue to persist. Rodalyn Abensa reports.
At a press conference in Accra, National Gender Representative Mata Kofi called for urgent reenactment to the Persons with Disability Act 2006, saying the nearly 2-decade-old law is outdated and fails to protect the rights of persons living with disability.
To take immediate action towards the reenactment and passage of the revised Persons with Disability Act 2006, Act 715. Legislative action on the renewed revised act has been slow, leaving millions of Ghanaians with disabilities without an updated legal framework that reflects their rights, dignity, and aspirations.
The Federation insists revising the act is crucial to ensure equal opportunities, stronger protection, and compliance with international standards.
We want a strengthened Disability Act that will modernize Ghana legal framework, ensure clearer institutional responsibilities, improve access to education, employment, healthcare, transport, and justice. And what we are saying is that the time to act is now. Ghana must not delay any further.
Rodalyn Abensa's report read to you.
And still on PWDs, the Infantiman Municipal Assembly has distributed deep freezers, knitting machines, and other livelihood support items to 88 persons with disabilities in a move aimed to boost income generation and promote economic empowerment within the municipality. Municipal Chief Executive Eric Stanley Akwa explained that the support forms part of government's broader commitment to enhancing the welfare of PWDs through the District Assembly Common Fund, adding that the tools will help beneficiaries build sustainable and independent livelihoods.
At the presentation ceremony in Salt Pond, the Municipal Director of the Department of Social Welfare in Infantiman, Abna Sewa Opare, explained that the support forms part of the beneficiaries' allocation under the District Assembly Common Fund for Persons with Disability.
Today marks the day that Infantiman Municipal Assembly presented items to persons with disability. And the essence of the items given to them is to reduce extremely poverty in Ghana. And so persons with disability has a share in the District Assembly Common Fund, that is 3%. And so as a municipal or a district, we sat and then we receive applications from persons with disability requesting for items and then also funds to embark on activity. And some also requested for money to assist them in their education.
The Municipal Chief Executive, Eric Stanley Akwa, reaffirmed government's commitment to improving the welfare of persons with disability, adding that follow-ups will be done to track the use of the items.
88 people benefited from the various items that were procured. We followed the procurement procedures and everything was in order. And so today happens to be the day that we had to give those items to the beneficiaries. We'll just form a team to come around, monitor, and make sure that those machines and items that have been presented to them are being used for the purpose for which it was procured for them. Failure would mean that probably in our subsequent, decisions on their percentage and all of that, what even the government intend to increase from 3% to 5%, I don't think it would encourage and motivate the president to, think and reason with his cabinet to approve or the parliament to approve the 5% from 3%. And so we'll do monitoring, we'll make sure that they actually use the items for the purpose for which they were procured.
One of the beneficiaries, Janet Eninfo, expressed gratitude and underscored the importance of the support. I want to say thank you to them. I have longed for this support. Thankfully, I now have it, and I am going to earn an income with it. I am grateful. May God bless them. From South Pond, Abigail Lisalinkuma reports for JoyNews.
From the central region, let me take you up north. A farmer in the northern region has made history, becoming the first to cultivate cocoa in Salnayili, an area long believed unsuitable for the crop. Well, the breakthrough has stirred excitement in the community and could reshape agriculture in the region. Martin Kpebu has more.
Meet Mohammed Inshallah, the cocoa farmer, a man with contagious enthusiasm. Mohammed has spent years working on a cocoa farm in the western region, learning the intricacies of cultivating the prized golden bean. Convinced that Salnayili's climate and soil were perfect for cocoa production, he decided to introduce the crop when he returned to his hometown in 2012.
I got the seeds and nurtured them, just like I'm doing now. I cycled all the way to Nkwanta to get the seeds. Most people were skeptical about growing cocoa in the northern region, but I was convinced it would work. After nursing the seeds for 5 months and transplanting them, I saw how healthy they were growing, and I knew it was going to be a success.
He's not just farming cocoa. If you look around, we have plantain, palm nut, ginger, among other crops here in the northern region.
Mohammed said it took just 3 years to get his first harvest.
I began harvesting a small amount of cocoa when I started, but by the 4th year, my yield had increased to about a quarter bag, which I was able to sell.
These are some of the beans being dried. They are getting ready to bag these ones.
This initiative has not only caught the attention of people in northern Ghana, but also the Cocoa Board. Deputy Chief Executive Agronomy and Quality Control, Dr. Francis Barr, led a team to visit the farm. Speaking to the media, Dr. Barr said a team of experts in the coming days will visit the area to assess the climate and the topography of the area.
You know, what it shows is that if you create the environment for cocoa, cocoa will thrive. So how are we going to respond to this? We are going to bring a team to do, well, he said the cocoa itself is 2.1 acres. After we've walked a little around, you can see that the land that potentially could hold cocoa is likely to be 10 times that. So we'll bring a team surveyors to come and survey the whole area.
For the people of the north, this discovery is groundbreaking and will support the area economically. For JoyNews, Martin Kpebu reporting.
It's now time for some business news with, of course, you know who, the Ahanta Pele, Samuel Kujibrace.
In our first story, oil marketing companies are set to increase prices of petroleum products at the pumps by 5% per litre from today, 2nd December 2025. Checks by Joy Business show the necessary adjustments are yet to be made by the various OMCs. Dr. Rivers Napom is the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies.
We are indeed going to experience just a marginal increase. I think from where I sit, we have seen higher numbers than this. Just earlier this day, I was having an argument with one of my students because we saw that crude oil prices had gone down by 2.4%. But unfortunately, we did not see the same reflection on the crude oil product because diesel in the international market increased by 1.26%, whereas petrol increased also by similar amounts of in terms of percentage on the Platts price. And this is something that I've been saying, that it's not always that crude oil price goes up or goes down and we see the same effect on its product, because the demand for the products at one instant in the stock market might be different from the crude oil itself. CD depreciated by 1.76%, and at the same time we have Platt and Platt for diesel and petrol also going up. So these two variables, as we all know, that makes a very important justification for whether products will go up at the pumps or down, are all showing, I would say, negative inputs. So that is why you see diesel going to be increased by roughly 2%, and then also so petrol going to increase around 2.5%, and diesel going to increase around 3%, and also LPG also intend to increase around 2%. This is because of these two factors I've stated here.
Mobile Money Ghana Limited has reaffirmed its commitment to partnering with the Bank of Ghana on the full rollout of the e-cedi. Speaking at the 2025 Extraordinary General Meeting in Accra, CEO of Momo Ghana, Haruna Shaibu, underscored the need to build a robust and inclusive digital financial landscape.
e-cedi, as we know it, is essentially having a replica of your fiat currency. For us, it's a great step in the right direction in terms of opening up avenue for Ghanaians to digitally use the currency. So we will be actively supporting Bank of Ghana's initiative to drive financial inclusion and ensure that every single Ghanaian has access to digital spend. I mean, we all know the benefit of this to the economy, because once we are using digital channels to spend, what it means is that we can do things much quicker, and having a very integrated system where whether you have e-cedi or you have mobile money, we should be able to coexist in deepening financial inclusion in Ghana. So we are excited about the prospect of it.
And that's it for Business Update. Back to you, Denisha.
Thank you, Ahanta Pele, Samuel Kujibris. And that's it for AM News. Don't forget that if you want more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Denisia Pomaije. Up next on the show is sports.
All right, welcome back to the AM show. Let's do the news review now by starting with what the papers are reporting today. We start with the Daily Graphic. It has a big story, something that we've all been waiting for. Boko conflict mediation. Parties embrace after final meeting, and we understand that Asantene will present the peace plan to President John Dramani Mahama. And when you see the pictures of how both parties were smiling together, it was beautiful after that particular meeting. So we understand that the Asantene listened to both parties. He didn't give judgment, because mediation doesn't come with judgment, but said that he would give the peace plan to President John Dramani Mahama to decide the way forward, but we understand from the report that both parties were very happy with the process. Let's see how that goes. But again, 24-hour economy yields resort. Vice President highlights again, saying she says that when you go to the industrial area, some companies that have piloted the project have resulted in improved output, and again has resulted in some numbers being employed on the night shift. She says that that indicates that this will really work, so they will be rolling out shortly. BOG prepares to license first non-interest bank. We understand this has been on the table for quite a long time, but the BOG now wants to try and license some of them. Some non-banking institutions have been given license to do this, but they now want to license non-interest banks. And Paul Wasi result, Chief Examiner's report should guide solutions. Experts are saying this. Remember, we had this discussion on the show yesterday. On the back page, Federation of Disability Organizations calls for fast track of revised law. A net metering portal for clean energy access launched. Okay. Let's do the daily guide paper now. Afoko Asapki freed over Adams Mahama murder. You remember in the run-up to the 2016 election, the then Upper West chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Adams Mahama, was murdered when some people poured acid on him. Gregory Afoko was picked up as an accomplice of that particular crime, but we understand that he and Asapki have been freed over that particular matter. Get details in that particular, paper. Now, Mahama forwards EC chair and SP removal petitions to Chief Justice. We were told, according to JoyNews, we spoke to the Minister of State in charge of government communications, Felix Kwachofosu, and he made us aware that the president has forwarded these petitions to the Chief Justice. So now it's in the bosom of the Chief Justice to look through the petitions and determine the way forward, whether there are prima facie cases in the two cases or they can't be allowed to move on. So get details on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Panda MP challenges rerun order at the Supreme Court. And if you listen to the lawyers for Matthew Yunam and the party, they say that even the petition that was filed against him was filed outside of the window that the law created. And so they believe that the processes to hear that petition itself was not according to the law. And so they are challenging this at the Supreme Court. Get details of that story in the Daily Guide. Again, Boko dispute mediation 2-4 calls for calm. And 8 kills over 12,600 in 2024 alone. Wow, that's huge. So read this story over and over. 8 kills over 12,600 in 2024. Let's do the new finder now. And government projected to mobilize 225.9 billion Ghana cedis revenue in 2025. Gold Board unveils Ghana's first 24-hour digital gold showroom. So go there and see whether you get a ring or bracelet for yourself. Excessive reliance on treasury bills hurting private sector, analysts warns. So that is there on the front page of the New Finder newspaper. Let's do the overseer. It says credibility. Okay, now Finance Minister inaugurates ABET's first regional office in Côte d'Ivoire. Get details of that story in there. Double track system must be blamed for poor performance in 2025. Wasi, according to Angel Carbonu. So get details there for yourself. Government to begin construction of 3 new regional hospitals in 2026. Akando says, but Akando, the people of Ahanta West are asking, what are you doing to our agenda 111 hospital? It was completed and inaugurated. It was commissioned. So what is happening, Mr. Minister? The people of Ahanta West need that hospital so that they can cater for their health needs. We see a completed hospital that is left abandoned. So as you begin the construction of 3 new hospitals, I have to, on behalf of the Ahanta West people, ask you, what is happening to that hospital. Very neat hospital. We want to know if there is any critical thing that has not been done. Please update us, because we can't bypass the hospital every day and then we are not using it. We need to be updated on that. So, Mr. Akando, we, the people of Ahanta West, will be waiting for you to tell us something. Earlier, you said we need 140 million to complete it. And then in the budget, we were told that the government actually needs 100 million to complete 10. So what is happening to our hospital? We need some updates. So, let's do the inside newspaper now. And it says, Ghana's rapid development rests on its new crop of visionary leaders, says Nanapra Ajinsem. And this is a man, when you go to his hometown, you won't see any rubbish on the ground, because he says that he's put advantage, dustbins at advantage positions that you don't drop on the ground, else you'll be dealt with. So when he says that the development of Ghana rests on new crop of visionary leaders, I want to trust him. So people like, my honorable, and I'll be asking them, it rests on their shoulders. In Palestine, Ambassador al-Satari part urged global support and demand justice on International Solidarity Day. I get details there. GPHS Kingsley and Chibosi named 2025 Public Sector PR Leader of the Year, Maritime. And, okay, so those are the stories from the inside there. At the economy, it says BOG's policy rate cut as markets waiting for the follow-through. And this is true. And this is true. We're all waiting for it. Because I'm even waiting for it, that the interest rate to come down so that private sector, can get access to cheap credit, so that we can also transfer that to our customers. Okay. Now the New Republic, GBC cash vanishes. Workers demand DG suspension ahead of probe, and that's coming at the back of the All Africa Games scandal. Quote and unquote, talkative Samudako on SML ego rampage. Okay, that's on the front page of the Republic. Get details of that story on page 2 there. And Gen Z's go bunkers. Okay, anyway. Zipline turns into condom courier. That's a bit of interesting to me. I've been at their site, and when you see the operations, I was asking myself, how can they carry books? How can they carry textbooks? Anyway, but I'm sure the minister knows what he's saying. So that does it for the papers. Let's do myjoyonline.com, and then we can start our discussion. On the front page of the, when you go to myjoyonline.com, it says WASI results. The results are the true competence of our learners. GES insists. So that is what the GES is saying. Many would be home if Ghana were half as developed as US. Victor Smith urges diasporans to partner investors and return. ECOWAS chair Mada Bio meets Guinea-Bissau junta, pushes for swift return to constitutional rule. Okay, right. So those are the stories on myjoyonline.com. There, many people will be asking ECOWAS, what more are you doing beside the talk? Anyway, let me welcome my guest in the studio. This morning we have Dickson Kyere-Duah. He's joining us now. He's a sports enthusiast. He's MP for Berekum West. Yeah. And he just returned from Brazil. He was part of the COP that went. So I'm sure he's back with a lot of ideas on how Ghana can really deal with climate change.
And Kwajo, it was refreshing that on the 14th of November, I got opportunity to make a presentation at the IPU's meeting of parliamentarians on actions Parliament and parliamentarians could take to deal with the climate issues, especially with methane reduction and mitigation measures. So it was quite an experience in Brazil at COP30.
I would love to sit down with you for us to talk about what we can do, especially when it comes to carbon trade, that we can take advantage of that and even end some...
Exactly so.
Would love to do that. Mr. Afelmoni is former president of the Ghana Journalists Association. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Hope all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is sufficient.
Great. Let's start straight ahead. Now, in the Delhi guide, it says...
Could you a quick one? Let me also join you in advocating for the Hunter West Agenda 111 project to be expedited. I think the good people really need that. But it was interesting when you mentioned that it was commissioned before it
was part of the three that the president
commissioned. So my understanding is when the project is done, commissioned, handed over, then operationalization continues. Exactly. So why is it that the project was commissioned and yet it is abandoned at this stage? So the truth of the matter is it was not completed, because actually if it was fully completed and commissioned, why are we here still looking for money to continue with the project? So these are things...
I have spoken to the part of those who were part of the construction.
Yeah.
And they say that the only thing that is not completed is the accommodation, which is behind the facility.
So why the rush in commissioning? Because you see...
But if the accommodation is what is not completed, you can start using the facility.
Yeah, sure. If that is the only reason. And Kojo, you know, when we talk about hospital, it is not about the brick and mortar that you see.
Yeah.
It's about equipment as well.
Yeah.
So if you put a brick and mortar and you rush to commission, that the project is completed and handed over, I think you're not doing the community any good.
Yeah.
That notwithstanding, as you've already said, it is also important that as government completes about 10 this year, those that are near completion, especially one like a Hunter West, will be given consideration and priority in terms of those to be completed. Some are at 20%, 30%. And from what I'm hearing, a Hunter West one might be around 90, 95, and close to 100%. So it is a call in right direction. But that reminds us that in the build-up to 2024 elections, a lot of projects were commissioned when they were not completed. My district police headquarters was commissioned on the 3rd of January, when it is just about 85% complete. And now it is in your words still left. It is now that we're looking for money to go and complete and hand over to Ghana Police. So governance is continuous process. It doesn't matter which government is going. Wherever you've reached, leave it. The incoming government will complete. And people are afraid somebody will take credit. You know, Ghanaians are wide awake these days. It doesn't matter who started the project. It doesn't matter who completed. What the people are really looking out for is to have the facility to be operational. And that's the most important thing. In any case, it is not anybody's pocket money. It is taxpayers' money that we use. So I'm very excited that this government has taken a definite position that all projects left behind by previous administrations will be continued. And at the assembly level, there is even a caveat of 20% each quarter of the common fund ring-fence to do old projects. And that's working very, very well. I think it is a decision that will go a long way to change the way we do politics. Forget about who started, forget about who will take the credit, but Ghanaians really want the project, and we as leaders, as the revered traditional leader said, we owe it a duty to the good people of this country to ensure that we deliver for the benefit of the good people in whom we entrusted the responsibility to lead.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. Now, President John Mahama from the Daily Guide newspaper has forwarded to the Chief Justice 10 petitions calling for the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, and her 2 deputies, as well as Special Prosecutor Kissi Agyebeng. Now, Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwachofosu, speaking to Joy News yesterday, confirmed receipt of the petitions and indicated that they are now in the hands of Justice Paul Bafoboni, who is expected to deal with them in accordance with law. The confirmation comes just a few days after news surfaced that an employee of EC, Joseph Blankson Edumadze, had petitioned the president to remove the EC chair and her 2 deputies. Let me start with you, Mr. Money. I mean, this, I'm not sure is news to you, but what's your expectation of how this must be handled?
We are in a dispensation of rule of law, so we expect the strictest application of the law. At the same time, we need to filter this through the tight weave of reality. The reality is that politics too is at play. But we should allow history to guide us. History will absorb us, or history will indict us if we fail to resolve this issue with the seriousness and fairness it deserves. We all know, and it's no news, that the EC, as it presently constituted, has an adversarial relationship with NDC when they were in opposition. So the lingering animosity has been there. But NDC in opposition different from NDC in government. At the same time, don't expect all politicians to be forgiving. But politics is like war. There's no sentimentality. We do recall what the General Secretary of NDC, JoyNews AM, the chairman, national chairman of NDC, JoyNews AM, said, and I quote, "Jemensa and her deputies are not fit for purpose. They must go." I'm inclined to believe that this remains the policy, cardinal policy of an NDC. And as I said in best repeating, NDC in opposition is different from NDC. There's a word of difference between being in opposition and being in government. Once you're in government, the whole country is your constituency. And you need to square your policies, your actions with the logic of reality. The logic of reality is that Ghanaians want that serenity, that peace, which will augur well, which will be a good augury for national development and progress. So we will urge extreme caution. There's a need to inject the highest dose of circumspection into this issue so that we do not unnecessarily ruffle feathers or rock the boat. The Chief Justice is yet to come out with the findings for us to know whether or not the prima facie cases have been found against the EC chair, head deputies, and also the SP. But if this should follow through, how do we ensure that it doesn't happen again in the future? Because now this was become on top of the precedent set under the previous administration, that any government that comes will try to do away with the EC chair and the deputies. What can we do to stop that from repeating itself? We should learn from history. At the same time, we should allow the supreme interest of the nation to guide us in everything we do, every policy we put out there. And so the supreme interest of this nation dictates that there should be peace at all times. This adversarial relationship between the government and other institutions, other arms of government, should be a thing of the past. We should look at issues as they are. And so both sides need to come together. And statesmen and women of this nation should also weigh into this issue. Yet we recently had the chairman of the National Peace Council who kicked against the ritual of every ruling government sacking the HE chairperson. I believe this is a food for thought. We need to drink copiously from the fountain of wisdom espoused by the National Peace Council.
Honorable Dickson Kyere-Duah, you are in Parliament. We've seen this play out before.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the way to go as a country that is trying to build or consolidate our democracy, where we try to do away with the EC chairperson and the deputies anytime there's a change in government?
Honestly, I don't think this is what we want, because we may be getting to a situation where every day tens and hundreds of petitions will be flying in, calling for the heads of various constitutional bodies. And as it stands, when these petitions come in, the president has no other option per the constitution. So we also need to look at it. In fact, the president does not have a power to determine whether a petition is frivolous or whether it is credible. Per Article 146(3), all that president does is to act as a conveyor belt. And the president, upon receipt of a petition for a removal of justice of a superior court, and for the avoidance of doubt, the chairperson of EC is equated to appeals court judge. His deputies are equivalent to high court judges. So their removal follow processes that apply to high court judges and appeal court judges in the case of the EC. So what the president does is to refer the petition straight away to Chief Justice, who will then determine whether there is a prima facie case, and if that is the case, then a committee is set to investigate, and their recommendations, once again, are bound on the president. The president cannot do otherwise. That is the situation we have. So if we wake up today and we have hundreds of petitions against various personalities, the hands of the president are completely tied. He has no option than to refer to the appropriate quarters, and in these instances, the Chief Justice. When Chief Justice receives, he will peruse, go through, and if a prima facie is determined, he will form a committee. If, upon receipt of these petitions by Chief Justice, no prima facie, then the process is truncated there. That is the situation. My worry is the sheer volume of petitions flying in. In the case of OSP, I'm told now there are 16 petitions. In fact, as at yesterday, we were aware of 7. Out of the 10 that have been referred to Chief Justice, 7 were with respect of removal of the OSP. And this morning, the sources very close to corridors of power are telling me there are 16 now. And in fact, my very good friend Martin Kpebu has also confirmed he will be adding his, and probably he will be the 17th person to add. So that is the situation. The question is, why so many petitions at this particular time? That is why I said I'm a bit worried. Otherwise, we will get to a point every day we receive a petition for removal of one person or the other. And in the case of OSP, the processes are quite different. It is per the OSP Act 2017, Act 959. And upon receipt, it goes to Chief Justice. The Chief Justice will have to determine prima facie case within 30 days. So President has referred to Chief Justice now. And from yesterday, it is counting. Within 30 days, Chief Justice should determine a prima facie case or otherwise. And upon determination of that, within 14 days, it should constitute a committee, and the committee will comprise of a Supreme Court judge, another lawyer of not less than 15 years at bar, and any other person who has experience in investigations. They will sit, and within 90 days, their report should come back to President through the Chief Justice. And whatever recommendation that comes to the President is bound to implement. So here we are. I think I will not want to jump the gun. Let us wait for the processes to go through. But as I said, as we talk of constitutional review, these are some of the things I think we should be looking at, that the president should be given some powers to look at the cases, filter through and decide whether it meets certain threshold to trigger the processes. But as we speak, the president doesn't have that power. Once it comes in, the processes have to be triggered.
And isn't this the best option?
If they keep coming in, you know, at a point the Chief Justice may be inundated with these processes, because every day now 10 have been referred to him. Tomorrow, with respect to another officer coming in, so every day Chief Justice may be confined to dealing with petitions rather than other equally important responsibilities that this Constitution has bestowed on him. So for me, it is important we look at it. But as we speak, no constitutional provision has been breached. And this is part of the democracy. And with the current constitution we have, the processes I think are going through, and they should be allowed to go through. What we are all praying for is individuals accused of wrongdoing should be given all the necessary support, level playing field to defend themselves. Now, at the end of the day, we want a report that is not tainted politically, and that will reflect the situation on the ground. So let due processes be followed, and at the end, we all be happy about the transparency of the processes. That is what I want to say for now. But as I indicated, I think it is worrying times in a way, because the floodgates may have opened now, and a lot more will be following for various heads.
Okay.
On one side, you will be worried. On the other side, you will be also arguing that we are entrenching the Constitution so that nobody will also feel they are above the law. That will put duty bearers on their toes to act in strict compliance with the Constitution of Ghana.
Mr. Mone, I mean, in trying to deepen the democracy we are in, I mean, we've become the beacon of democracy in Africa. People have been calling for example, when the Chief Justice's own happened, people said, we must make it difficult for people to trigger processes to get the Chief Justice out. And Honorable also mentioned that as we are doing the amendment to the Constitution, we should be looking at it. Shouldn't you also be looking at how we can truly, in the sense, safeguard the positions of some of these constitutional bodies like the EC chairperson, for example?
And then, as Honorable said, for now, what is constitutionally permissible
is what is being done.
Followed. So, but looking forward, we ought to craft a mechanism, constitutional mechanism, constitutional safeguards, which would make it difficult for any government or any president who has a beef with the Chief Justice or any arms of the government to take advantage of the law to dispose of their services. And this and one area, as I said, the Constitutional Review Committee should take a hard look at. We are told they finished their work, but we believe that at least in the process of redrafting the Constitution, this issue was dominant. So we are inclined to believe that they've taken this into consideration and prioritize it in the constitutional amendment. As a nation, we need to grow. Democracy, our democracy should be on the ascendancy and not a retrogression. So going forward, we trust the judgment of the Chief Justice and the President. He's doing a constitutional duty, referring to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice will set up a committee and begin to look at the issues. But we expect the committee to be set up to sift the frivolous allegations from the serious ones and deal with the frivolous ones. Again, we cannot run away from the fact that politics is at the bottom of it all. So we need to temper prudence with politics. Otherwise, the whole nation will suffer insufferably in the future.
I hope I had a lawyer here. I wanted to ask, because the NDC, in the run-up to the election, were talking about, for example, the CJ, the EC chair. If this follows through, it's not premeditated. In law, I think they have something like that, that you said you do this and you've done it.
No, Kojo. In the case of the EC chairperson and the deputies, if you have followed closely in the build-up to the 2024 elections, NDC as a political party was very critical about how they were managing the elections process. But fast forward, after the elections, it is rather our friends from the other side who have been calling for the head of the EC.
Oh, I thought
after Ablekuma, no. After Ablekuma elections, and
I mean, but chronologically.
So probably we've gone past. We've gone past, and we are rather comfortable with the EC because we held the EC on both two by-elections. NDC didn't have any complaints, but our friends were rather complaining, and in fact, they were rather calling for the heads. So there have been leading figures in MPP after the by-elections in Ablekuma and the one in my friend Ernest's place. They were calling for the head of the Akwatia by-election. After these two by-elections, they were rather calling for the head of EC chairperson. So if today people are petitioning, it sounds right to probably point fingers to them than NDC, who have not complained after the 2024 elections, and I've seen no.
Sat here to talk about.
That is what I'm saying. That was prior to the elections.
No.
And
it was after the election.
No, but we've seen.
Yes.
Kwajo, I think we've seen some improvements in the handling of the two by-elections in Ablekuma and Akwatia, probably. So but let us not run away from the fact that people have complained. And Kwajo, in any case, if everybody is complaining, so NDC in the past complained, now MPP in the past now are complaining. Now it means there are some questions to answer, and let us also be mindful of the fact that receipt of petition, the mere receipt of it, mere referral to CJ does not constitute any wrongdoing at this stage. So the presumption of innocence should be there. So let us give the EC officials and the OSP opportunity to prove their innocence. That's why I have called for
a day or a time when the petition was sent to the CJ and nothing happened. In the immediate past, you say history as we know.
Oh yeah, previously under Nanado, there were a number of times petitions came in, it went to CJ, and that was the end.
Which one?
A number of them, just that they didn't, but we were told
that didn't succeed was Professor, the one that was against Jin Mensah in the dying embers of the
exactly.
That was sent. That was okay. No, it was not Jin Mensah. It was for the removal of CJ. And that one, the constituency has presented to the Council of State, and the Council of State didn't find any prima facie.
Exactly.
So I'm saying that all the ones that has gone to the CJ. Remember, the Charlotte one went to CJ. It went through. The Shraj boss, this woman, it was under John Mahama. I forgot the name. It went to the CJ. It went through. So
we talk about Loretta Lamte.
Exactly. Yes, it went through. Yeah. So let's see. I'm just asking that per history, the ones we have, when it gets to the CJ, unless this one says that okay, there's
Kojo, we need to be very careful about. We need to be very careful about this discourse, because I don't think you're also suggesting that even though when the people are found of other wrongdoing culpable, we should say they should be left off the hook. Because it is also important, as much as we're talking about making it very difficult for president or whoever to trigger whatever processes, we should also be mindful that we may at a point have, say, a chief justice, we may have EC official, having been constitutionally appointed, will become tyrannical, abuse of power, ignoring all laid down procedures. And for that matter, do you keep the person because you think we should not be taking them out? So, as I said, we should make it a little bit more difficult. But we should also accept that this is what we've all agreed to go by. These are one of the democratic pillars, and we should follow due processes and procedures.
But when it comes to the SP, do you, Honorable, do you support people who say, let's scrap the office entirely? Or you think, well, let's go through the process and see where this takes us, whether or not the current SP is asked to step aside or he's asked to stay on? Because some people have the view that, well, it hasn't served the purpose, let's scrap it.
Well, for me, the offices themselves are nothing. It is about personalities who man the offices. Because don't forget, the creation of the OSP is one of the requirements of UN anti-corruption drives. So the office is set up for a purpose to deal with corruption and corruption-related cases. Upon its establishment in 2018, revered Martin Kpebu was appointed. In 2020 November, you remember he resigned amid claims of murder, serpent, corruption, and all those things. In April 2021, no, but council knows that Martin Kpebu said after he released his risk assessment report. His risk assessment report on Japa royalties to president, he went through a hell, and as a result, decided enough is enough. He washed off his hand. Kissi Agyebeng was nominated in April 2021. Parliament approved him. August 5th, he came into the seat. And you know, there are divided opinions about Kissi Agyebeng. And as I indicated, is a creation of the Constitution. And with right personalities manning the office, I think it will be another layer. You know, the anti-corruption drive is such that we want to make it very, very difficult and expensive for people to engage in corruption. And this is one of the offices we think can help. So for now, my position is not about scrapping of the office, but let us make sure right people are manning right positions in the OSP. This is another test case. Let us go through, as I've said, by their own Act, Section 15 provides grounds for removal, and the grounds are very, very clear. If 4 major grounds. Let me quickly go through. I think it's very, very important for the discussion this morning. The grounds for removal of OSP. There are just 4 of them. And if you look at the Section 15 grounds for removal, here are they. The Special Prosecutor shall not be removed from office except for 1, stated misbehavior or incompetence. 2, incapacity to perform the functions of the office by reason of infirmity or body, by reason of infirmity of body or mind. 3, willful violation of the official oath or oath of secrecy. And 4, the 4th one is in 2 parts. A conduct which brings or likely to bring the office of the Special Prosecutor into disrepute, ridicule, or contempt. Or, that is the second part, a conduct that is prejudicial or inimical to the economy or security of the state. So, this petition to meet threshold for prima facie to be established by the Chief Justice, one of these grounds should be clearly established against the OSP. Okay. So let us wait. As I said, we want transparent processes, level playing field for all parties to defend themselves.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll be joined by John Darko, Esquire. He is MP for Swami. Okay. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
We understand that.
To you and good morning to my fellow panelists. I thought Dickson, he's my brother. So.
He's my vice chairman of the Environment Committee.
Oh, okay.
So he was in Brazil as well.
Okay, nice one. Nice one. So today we have the corporate tennis on the show.
Yeah, today we'll be looking at our estimates, isn't it? Environment Committee, right from here. Okay. And we're going to look at our budget estimate.
Interesting. Okay. So we understand the President has forwarded the petitions calling for the removal of EC chair and head deputies and also the SP to the CJ for to work on. I mean, that's the constitution. The constituency has been forwarded to him. Are they on their way out from where you sit?
Well, I mean, thank you once again. For the Electoral Commission, I'm sure you all know it's a campaign promise that the President is fulfilling. He told his people that he's going to reset the EC. Yes, and beyond that, his own people, the chairman of Dickson Kyere-Duah has said in so many times, we have videos in which he himself, the chairman of the NDC, has said that the Electoral Commission chair must go. And he said that before that happens, they have to remove the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, and then after that, the current Electoral
Commission. Was explicit.
Oh, yes. There's a video, I'm sure we all know this, the chairperson of the NDC has said that the Chief Justice must go, and followed by the Electoral Commission chair. And so I am not surprised that this so-called petition has come in. They plan to remove the chairperson and her deputies, and it is just their plan they are executing. I mean, so from where I said, I'm not privy to the content of the petition, but I can tell you, no matter how, in my view, useless the petition may be, I'm sorry, it is what it is. This is the government position. This is the NDC's position. This is what they intend to do. And they will do it. And they've not hidden this. I'm not sure there's anybody in this country who is in doubt of the NDC's, idea or their determination to remove the chair of the Electoral Commission and her two deputies. There's no question about it. This is a plan well orchestrated from opposition and properly being executed. So, unfortunately, it looks like they will be on their way out. Maybe months down the line, we will come and sit here and you will tell me, there, John, you said it on the show. I don't know. The petition may be as frivolous as it is, but we've had similar situation in the...
No, but if it's frivolous, as you say, and they don't meet the threshold that...
But when the CJ's case came up, look at some of the petitions that you saw around. And even when the committee sat, you have 3 petitions. They say we've decided one, the rest we are not even concerned. So you should just go. The woman was supposed to come back on a day I think they were supposed to give closing statement, something of that. So they were not even done. But what did we hear? We heard that they had sent their report to the presidency, and then the president acted on it and unfortunately sacked the woman. It was their plan from day one, from the opposition. They executed it. And this is the second leg of the plan. And they are executing it. I haven't seen also the petition against the Special Prosecutor, but like my brother rightly stated, the grounds are clearly stated in the act that established the
Special Prosecutor's office.
OSP's office. It's up to them. Look, right now, they say that they've been given all the powers in the country to do whatever they want. And so we await whatever decision they make. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about it. They will tell you that, oh, it's grounded in law. My worry is that if we continue on, in this, we are just bastardizing our institutions. We are going to highly politicize our institutions, and every new government will want to do that. I have said that, and I'll repeat this anyway, I've made it so clear that if God blesses me and I'm alive in 2029 when NPP takes over, any attempt should move any of these officials, I will reject it. I will speak against it. But of course, NPP is 2029. Mr. Moni, what do you doubt it?
No, God, not this possible. I don't doubt it.
The two of you started laughing.
Yes. No. I mean, if Dickson is laughing, I understand. I was just worried about Mr. Moni's, because we were supposed to
the level of confidence is incredible.
Oh, the level of confidence is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. So, and I've said that when NPP is in power and in 2029, any attempt to remove even the current CJ or any EC they will appoint, I will oppose it. We need to go beyond the politics at some point and allow our institutions to work. I don't know, because you see,
even if they are clearly acting against the Constitution,
you see, we need
politicians
to
are politicians.
We need to be very careful, because you see, when it comes to breaching the constitutional provisions, you can easily breach without knowing. Listen, we were in this country. The Speaker left the country. The Vice President was sick. She wasn't in the country. President Mahama left the country without informing Parliament. He just left. That was a constitutional breach. And I raised this issue up. And I remember when the Vice President came and the President met her at the office. She said that he's happy, she's back, and that when she was away and he traveled for, I think it was ECOWAS conference, some people were asking for his removal. The truth is that he had violated the Constitution. He had violated it. So, can we say that there should have been a ground for his removal? Would we justify that? So, yes, we are a country of laws, we are regulated by laws, but there are some positions we need to be very careful, because at any point in time, because we are human beings, if you want to find faults, you always find one. And somebody, you as an elderly man who is in the middle, should always advise us that, look, let us not politicize everything. Because you see, when it comes to infractions of our laws, okay, look, let's say the Special Prosecutor, if you do anything that brings the name of the office into disrepute, if you run red light, I can use that as a basis to remove you. Even if you breach any part of our laws, where you can even serve a jail term, I can ask that be used as a basis to remove you. So we need to raise our governance system. We need to elevate the conversation and move beyond these trivial excuses. If you want to remove the person because the person is not politically connected to you, say it.
His question was, even if the person is going against the Constitution, and you say that if you want to do strict, then you would always find excuse. But,
yes.
But if that's the case, yes, people should go, because the Constitution says if you do it, you have to go.
Yes. So if that is the standard we want to set, and I'm all for good standards, high standards. If that's the standard we want to set, then let's all agree. Because tomorrow, when it's being done to you, don't complain.
Okay.
Because see, look, one of the charges against the former CJ was administrative work, and in fact, some of her decisions in court, it formed the basis for her removal. A judge must always be protected so that he or she can be freely, cited do his or her job without any letter.
No, Council. The grounds for the removal did not include those things. The petitioners listed litany of allegations,
but they were in the petition.
Not all of them were proven.
Oh, my brother.
Not all of them were proven. So those that were proven, that one you are referring was not part. You saw
we here. They didn't even finish. Did they finish? Did they finish?
No, by Council.
No. You see, they should have finished and then come and tell us the ones which were not proven.
Council, you are aware, there were 3 petitions, all calling for his removal. After the first petition, enough grounds had already been established for the removal. Why wasting further time to go through? Because in any case, the first count, the first petitioner, after they've gone through, grounds have already been established.
Okay.
Then you say you go into, so if all the 3 are established, it doesn't change the situation.
But you see what you forgot.
Even if 2, he is proven innocent in 2 and found guilty of 1, you are still guilty.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. So the issue of not going through all the 3, respectfully, I totally disagree.
Okay, that's
and Council, let me ask.
No, it was my time you took, so maybe
Council, you were talking about building the country, and when you were referring to the former Chief Justice, now referring to the chair, 2 questions I want you to help me.
Right now, you've taken over as the host.
What is your candid opinion about removal of, say, Charlotte Osei? Then 2.
No. Listen. Let him have his time. But wrap up for me so we can go to you.
But in fact, he's my, like I say, he's my brother. But in the case of Charlotte Osei, maybe you haven't heard me, but I've said it on so many platforms. You can Google John Darko's opinion on Charlotte Osei. I said at the time I disagreed. I mean, and I've made that point so clear. Everybody knows it's out there.
Maybe you were a lone ranger.
Exactly. Maybe I didn't have a voice that could be heard. But I had spoken on radio and other places, and I disagreed with it, But the point about this CJ's position is that, look at all the petitions you see. You say they received 3. You only found 1 which was capable of...
No, the first one, the address was...
But why didn't you go through the rest to at least let the public know that all these other ones, she was exonerated? When we
but if you have enough grounds...
No. But not just... You are not wasting your time. Somebody's integrity is at stake.
But he said that the first one, there was enough grounds.
No, but I'm saying that you could go through, and then if the 2, all right, she was exonerated, at least the public should know that on count A, B, C, D, she was exonerated.
Okay, all right.
At least it's a reputation of yours.
Thank you very much. We need to move on to deal with other issues.
A related issue is the call made by Honorable Afenyomakin for this nation to do away with retaliatory politics. But the time has come for us to consign to the dustbin of history retaliatory politics. According to George Osberger, retaliation is the most worthless weapon on earth because it ignites an endless cycle of brutal reprisals. We don't need any Sherlock to predict that the next NDC MPP government, and Honorable says 2028.
2029.
That is prophecy. The next MPP government, I don't know when.
But I've told you already, someone quote me.
No, but he has already quoted you, but in his personal opinion, he cannot.
Will also go hard after its rare or perceived enemies. And this will take the country back instead of moving forward. So we need to take a hard look at this issue of retaliatory politics.
All right. Grateful. Let's move on to the chamber now. Because one of their colleague MPs, Matthew Yindam, the MP for Panda, has now gone to the Supreme Court and is saying that the High Court erred in hearing the petition that was brought against him. Because according to his lawyer, it was filed beyond the time limit that is given by the law. Let me start with you, John Darko, on this one.
Okay. All right.
That if I file beyond the time limit, it makes it null. Is that the argument?
Yes, but that is the law. But you see, let me even start by commenting on the judgment that came. I mean, I've read judgments. I have read, I guess, maybe thousands of judgments from my law school days to now. I haven't seen a judgment like the one from this Bolga Tamale. Justice Planjou. Is that his name?
Planjou.
I was shocked. This is a judgment.
Yeah, but that's a judge. You have to be careful.
Yes. But when we bring a judgment, we should be able to criticize it. I'm a law lecturer. I teach my students, and we critique judgments. I mean, the judgment is a clearest example of how not to write a judgment. The judgment, as the judge published yesterday, a judgment that starts with a petitioner's something they call closing argument. Never seen that in my 16 years of practice. That now written addresses are now called closing argument, and the judge copies the whole of the petitioner's written submission, and he terms in closing argument, maybe about 50 or 60 pages. That's the opening of his judgment. Never seen that, ever. And I spent a lot of time this morning reading through the judgment, and I was shocked how we are treating ourselves as a people. The judgment in itself, I believe, when it goes to Court of Appeal, will be dealt with properly by the three wise men at the Court of Appeal.
Really?
But that is not what you mentioned. What you mentioned is an application to quash the whole proceedings on the basis that the judge wrongfully assumed jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And it is a common practice. If you look at election regulations, the law is very clear that a petition to challenge any election, and in this case, this parliamentary election, must be brought within 21 days after publication of the results or the gazette of the results. Now, it is not in doubt that the results were gazetted, I think, on 24th of December. This petition in question was filed on, I think, 25th January. Clearly, 31 or 32 days after the gazette. And so for a judge to assume jurisdiction to go ahead, determine this matter and give judgment, tells you that there's something wrong with our judicial system, because the judge should have done the simple calculation. First of all, maybe the lawyer on the other side should have raised it. The lawyer who even filed the petition should have known that you cannot bring petition after 21 days after the gazette. And they actually sent the gazette to court. The gazette is part of the processes before the court. It's there, 24th December. The gazette is there before the court. The court saw it. The representation of people's law very clear on when to bring petition. The judge assumes jurisdiction, hears this matter, and now produces this judgment.
So do I understand that if you file outside of the 21 days, it should not be heard?
No. It should be thrown out.
Even when there are evidence of grounds that this election was wrongly determined.
In fact, let me tell you this. Under the law, when the petitioner is alleging fraud, okay, then the law allows you to file before gazette. Before gazette. Otherwise, you cannot bring petition before gazette when you are not alleging fraud. When you are alleging fraud in the election, then you can bring the action before the results are gazetted. But if it's not fraud, then you have to wait after the gazette. And that must be done within 21 days.
After the gazette?
After the gazette.
And after the 21 days, you cannot file.
Yes.
Council.
The door is closed.
Council,
really?
Yes.
Council, can you educate us a little bit? The 21 days, is it 21 working days or normal every day, weekend and holidays counting? I just want to find those of us in football, when protest is 5 and they are counting days, you don't count weekends and holidays in the football. So I don't know how that is applicable in your case.
It is
so our holidays and weekends included in the 21 days.
In fact, what may not be counted will be a holiday, but the weekends, they are all part of it. So they are all part of it.
As in the legal profession, is different from the football one.
No. Say that you don't count weekends.
Yes.
The law says 21 days. It doesn't say 21 working days.
Okay.
If it says 21 working days, then it's Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. But if it's 21 days, 21 days.
But isn't it natural that, the court does not work on weekends?
No.
Why would you count
but there's a decision on it. This is not.
No, in Parliament, when we say our days, 21 days, we don't count weekends and the days we don't sit are not counted.
Ours is 21 sitting days.
Yes.
Ours is 21 sitting days. Yeah. It is not just 21 days.
21 days.
And again, at the hearing, was this issue an issue for the defense? Did the defense come up and where the judge ignored? I wanted to find out. Because if the defense knew at the time of the trial, was it brought at the trial which the judge ignored?
You are asking a very important question. I'm sure a question by maybe students will ask. Okay, so when it comes to jurisdiction, jurisdictional matter can be raised at any time, even before judgment. In fact, even on appeal. Because there are some issues you cannot raise after judgment. But when it comes to jurisdiction, and this is a matter of jurisdiction because if the person is filing a process outside the allocated time, the judge will not have jurisdiction to hear the matter. And so it will amount to wrongful assumption of jurisdiction to take the matter here and give judgment. And so in this particular case, we are talking about jurisdictional issue. And it's so critical that it can be raised at any time. So your question as to whether the defense brought it up or not, it doesn't even arise here because
I know, but I wanted to find out that it was raised and the judge ignored and went on to
no. I mean, from what I've read with the judgment, this wasn't an issue. It wasn't raised, but it can be raised.
Okay.
It can be raised at any time, So yes, our colleague, Honorable Indam, through his lawyer, my brother Gary, they have filed this application before the Supreme Court, to quash the decision of the court. Because once you wrongfully assume jurisdiction, and the court determines that, yes, you did not have jurisdiction, everything that happened will be rendered null.
A friend lawyer who's watching now says, all categories of cases have timelines within which to file. And if you sleep for the time to elapse, you are generally shut out. Doesn't matter what good evidence you have. But if that's the case, then why did that anyway?
I think Matthew is our colleague, and
will he be in the house today anyway? Will he be in the house?
Yes, today.
That's it. You know why he asked that? Because of the Speaker's ruling. And the Speaker's ruling, if I can, the Speaker's ruling, I have respectfully disagreed with his position. Speaker's ruling is to the effect that, when a court grants judgment, there's automatic 7 days stay of proceedings. And so he used that as the basis to say that he could come to Parliament until 1st December. But look, he's filed application for stay of execution.
But Counsel, to be fair to the Speaker, he added that the fact that he has filed for stay and is gone for appeal even added another layer. He used that word. So he didn't end with the 7 days. Speaker in his ruling, after citing several cases to back the 7 days, added that the fact that Matthew had gone to appeals court and had filed for stay, has added another layer to this 7 days window. So that was the conclusion.
Then why did he say that?
That was the conclusion. I listened critically to him.
Yeah, but I've read it.
Okay. You were not there.
But I've read it.
He can be in the house.
But you see, Speaker said he had up to 1st December.
No.
So beyond that, can he come?
No, he said, as I said, I was there. He said he gave a whole lot of cases, cited several authorities, and said so until the 7 days are elapsed, enforcement cannot be done. And even then, the fact that he has gone for appeal and filed for stay has added another layer. These are the exact words he used.
Was your chief whip there? Definitely.
Yes. In fact,
yesterday he said that he will insist. He does not stay in the house.
Yeah, he's been very strident.
Yes, because the Speaker said that it lasts up to 1st December. That's why I said
Council, when you finish, I think you can go back on that day and play back. He added he added the words he used, exact words he used. He said the fact that the aggrieved person has gone to appeals court and has filed for stay has added another layer. These are the words he used.
So what is the effect of that? Does it mean that he can still come after the 1st December he gave?
As for that, but what I'm saying,
but that's what we need.
He didn't end his ruling with the 7 days. He said he's also aware he's going for stay. He's going to appeal court. So these steps have added another layer.
A layer of what? Layer of protection. Or layer of what?
So that is subject to your interpretation.
That's why somebody is interpreting that to me that you will not allow him to come to the chamber. I mean, look
I will plead that we allow the processes to be exhausted. I think these are constitutional rights for him. He's going to appeal to challenge the case itself. Then he's going to Supreme Court. You know, Supreme Court does not have appellate jurisdiction over parliamentary matters, but it has original jurisdiction for interpretation of these matters. So the aggrieved person is saying the complaint was filed out of time.
Yeah.
If that is the case, the Supreme Court will make a determination. At the same time...
So that jurisdictional rule is supervisory?
Yes.
Yes.
So he is at the appeals court at the same time also dealing with the matter. So there are multiple layers that he is going through. I expect all of us to be circumspect in our commentaries and wait for the outcome. However, what is a bit worrisome is the way some officers of the court, or some officers of court, you know, when you talk of officers of court, lawyers are officers of court, have been publicly running the judge and judiciary in the wake of this judgment. You know, they are trained, and no matter unpalatable.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If it is true, as my friend lawyer has just confirmed, that no matter how hard your evidence is, if you file out of the timeline, you are shut out. Then why did they?
But that will be determined at the appeals court. In fact, that is the beauty of the law. You know, interestingly, a high court decision is not final. You go to appeals court, and in some cases you go to Supreme Court. So, as an officer of the court, what you do is, no matter how aggrieved you are, you wait patiently and have your day in appeals court. As he said the three wise men will deal with the matter. So wise waiting. You know, the difference is, if you are a media guy, if you are somebody who is not a lawyer, probably your commentaries should be different. It is like those of us MPs, you know, the issue of referral of minority leader to the privileges. I have been asked several times in the media, and I have restrained myself because I'm a member of parliament. Somebody who is not a member of parliament may deal with the issues differently. So my concern is when lawyers, people who are officials of the court and who, know better, should restrain themselves. Counsel was here, he's not happy, but he his choice of words, I mean, he was not using inflammatory words, but in some other areas, the choice of words before we even go to the appeal and the Supreme Court rulings, I think we should be restrained. And if indeed the judge has gotten it wrong, the judge has erred, the appeals court will deal with the matter. Supreme Court is also dealing with the other leg of it.
A related question. Should we as laymen be dismissive of the resolute stand taken by Honorable Daffy Amakpo that they will prevent the controversial...
My view in them.
Yeah, from coming to Parliament.
Senior, you know, the Chief Whip raised the issue on the floor of Parliament. Speaker dealt with the matter. He gave his ruling. And so far as we are all concerned, it is the ruling of the Speaker that sufficed on the day, even though Chief Whip he didn't get what he wanted. That is the beauty of democracy. You know, on the same day, he gave ruling because Chief Whip had raised an issue of our colleague being a persona non grata and should not be in the House. Then Speaker said, no, he has every right to stay and participate. The Chief Whip didn't argue, he didn't go to the press. But the same day, Speaker gave another ruling, and our friends were all over in the media.
His question, his question he asked you is not based on that day. He's just yesterday on Top Story. Your Chief Whip said he will insist. He says, I will insist.
You see, do you know the scenarios, what can happen? If our colleague comes to the House and Chief Whip thinks he shouldn't be, he will once again raise it. Speaker will give a ruling. So it is up to the Speaker who will give a ruling on the day. And for the Chief Whip, he also has the right as a leader of the other side to do whatever he is doing. So that is, he raised it the first time. Speaker ruled against his position. And if he intends to raise it again, based on the ruling of the Speaker, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And if this is all coming out of a judgment, that we are now being made aware that should have not even come about in the first place because the petition was filed out of
as we sit here, we don't know, we can't say, because the defense case has not been proven in court. So it is one side of the story that the applicant filed out of time. When Supreme Court sits on the case on the 16th December, they will determine whether indeed he filed out of time. So it is allegation at this stage. And you know, in law, counsel will tell you multiples of allegations don't constitute evidence. So if evidence is adduced to the fact that the applicant filed out of time, the Supreme Court will obviously do the needful. So until we get to that stage, let us not assume what we are hearing is the case. So let us, 16th is just around the corner. And again, as counsel himself alluded to, the ruling of the Speaker, per his understanding, our honorable colleague is not supposed to be in today. But if Chief Whip is saying, probably Chief Whip also understands it that way and say he shouldn't be in. And if he comes, he will trigger the necessary processes and procedures. You know, saying he will not allow, Chief Whip will not physically prevent, but he will raise the issues on the floor to be dealt with. So let us see how it will play today. And if he raises it, let's see how Speaker will also respond to. So let us not jam the gun.
But just so we are certain about this issue, the Gazette notification they say,
the Gazette notification 24th.
Look at it.
No, Council, we know, but we don't.
The Gazette notification.
Council, we know, but we don't know.
And the case was also filed on 25th. It's also not in doubt.
As for that, I haven't seen
it's also not in doubt.
I haven't seen it. So if it is straightforward like this,
yes,
Council, why the rush? Then the obvious thing will be done. So let us all wait. That is why I want us to wait. But my warriors have said the language, the abuses, insult, reign on the judges. I think it's not healthy for our democracy.
But once we have counsel here, he should educate us. If someone files a stay of execution, when does it take effect?
Okay, so again, the court, our courts haven't been definite about it. That the stay of execution must, once it's filed, even if not heard, must stay everything. In fact, they've gone to the point of saying that you should look at every case on its merit. That when you file stay of execution on particular facts, it should stay in the hands of everybody, maintain the status quo ante until the matter is finally determined. But if you look at this case, imagine that this man is prevented from coming to Parliament. It means that the people are not being represented. Now, imagine that they will follow through with the court's order to hold election in 30 days. Election is held in 30 days. Somebody else is elected. Imagine that after all this, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court comes to say that so let's say we even start with the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal says that the court was wrong in this decision. And the Supreme Court later comes to say that the court wrongfully assumed jurisdiction. Then what happened to the processes that have taken place? And that is why it is important that we stay the whole judgment.
That election, if they take that decision, would they allow that?
So why do we waste resources when you can simply stay everything and wait and abide the judgment of either the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court? And so in certain situations like this, it is important that the execution is stayed. But another reason is that you don't overreach the court, because sometimes if the court makes a decision and you apply for stay of execution, at that point you are appealing, it means that the higher court, the Court of Appeal, or the higher court, I should say the higher court, it could be the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal, or sometimes even the higher court if the appeal is coming from lower court. The higher court is waiting to give its judgment, and you, the lower court, the lower court judgment is executed. It will render the judgment of the higher court useless, nugatory, because then there will be nothing for the higher court's judgment to be enforced on. And that is why it is important that at any point, that when stay of execution is filed, the courts are always minded to grant, unless they see the judgment, they see that it is so useless, the appeal is so useless, then they can say that, well, the judgment can be executed whilst they hear the matter. But in this constitutional matter like this, there's no reason to continue to, engage in this theatrics, especially when my brother, Roxton, says that he won't allow a member of parliament to come in just because a judgment has come, and that judgment is under appeal. It is not right. So let's maintain the status quo ante, which is that he remains the MP. Let's go through the appeal process. Why? He doesn't determine when the matter will be heard. So if right now the case is heard in 2 weeks and there's judgment against him, he goes home and then a new election can be held. If the judgment favors him, then he says there, why do we rush? The judges ordered that elections should be held within 30 days. I was surprised. Why the rush? And then, because of that, you are saying that he cannot even hold himself out as an MP when he has filed appeal, and when, of course, this was yesterday, when there's an appeal, there's an application at the Supreme Court seeking to quash the whole process because of lack of jurisdiction when the matter, started in the first place from the Tamale High Court. So the position is that in most cases, you abide the decision of the higher court, in this case the Court of Appeal, because there is application for stay of execution. That's the general principle. But in some cases, the courts are willing. Yes.
The High Court has not taken a decision on this. It's only been filed.
Yes. The fact that it's been filed, in fact, should stay in the hands of all parties. In fact, it's just like the way we've treated injunctions, okay? That when application of injunction is filed, this is state of execution, injunction is filed, our courts have said that because the person is seeking, is invoking the jurisdiction of the court, parties should stay their hands until the matter is heard. You understand? So I see that you are coming to pull my house down. I filed application for injunction. The court has now assumed jurisdiction. The date is, say, in 2 weeks. Then go ahead and pull down the house. Okay. What if you come and I'm saying, and the court say, no, the injunction application is on solid ground, and so I am granting the injunction application. By that time, the house would have been pulled down. That means that you have overreached the court. That shouldn't be the case. So the position has been that when the application is filed, once you become aware of the application for stay of injunction, you should stay your hands. And it's the same case. Once you've seen the application for stay of execution, stay your hands, stay off, let the court take its decision. And after that, if the court says that you are right, you can go ahead and execute your judgment.
But how different is this from the Agyebeng case?
What is it with the Agyebeng case? We are dealing with this case, my brother. This case, the judge says that for 30 days, within 30 days, come and hold an election.
Didn't the Agyebeng also appeal against that, the first ruling?
What happened to Agyebeng? There are so many angles to that case, and sometimes you can't get all the facts right. For me, what I'm dealing with is this case, and I believe that the facts, as we have come to know in this case, suggest that the application for stay of execution should hold the hands of everybody involved in this case until the matter is determined by the Court of Appeal, or now, with the new application, the Supreme Court, as to whether the court even had jurisdiction in the first place when he assumed jurisdiction. I think that is very simple and clear, and shouldn't call for any of us to knock our heads together.
Will you be surprised if you go to the House today and the EC has written to Parliament that, or is Parliament that has to write to the EC that there's a vacancy?
Parliament that has to write to the EC.
Parliament has to write to the EC.
There's vacancy. No, I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean,
but Parliament has been served the judgment.
Yes, and I don't believe that will happen, that we should declare the seat vacant, especially when there are all these processes ongoing. I mean, it won't happen.
Berekum North is a lesson.
What about Berekum North? Because I know in Berekum North that we had about some few polling stations that, you know...
But the EC felt for re-election, rerun.
No. Oh, if you are going into the matter, that we are going to the matter is because in Berekum, the EC asked for rerun of the disputed places. They didn't ask for the rerun of the whole constituency, and that's another leg of the case we haven't even come to at all. That if you are contesting 41 polling stations, how then does a court come in to say that 41 out of 156 or so, because 41 is disputed, you should cancel the whole constituency result and rerun the whole thing? If you look at the judgment, now the judge, in his judgment, says that he believes that 99. No, he believes that.
So the scale of irregularities.
Yes.
I'll read.
He said 99. He believes that 99 polling stations had irregularities, and his view as because of that, the whole election should be rerun. Now, if that's the kind of jurisprudence we're going to push down now, it's going to be a big problem, because that would mean that when a national election is held, we have about 36,000 polling stations. If we're able to prove 5,000 polling stations had irregularities, then it should form the basis for us to annul the whole election result for a new election to be had in the country. Is that the kind of jurisprudence we're going to now push down? You know,
I mean, the judge says, before I conclude, the destroyed materials and equipment which would provide the evidence no longer existed. So how could a second respondent compare
and check the collated results to determine authoritatively that the first respondent indeed won hands down. In the light of Section 19 of PNDC Law 284, only one relief is available in my view, and that is to rerun the election in Panda constituency from the bottom.
But maybe you should have gone up a little bit, because when you go up of that line, I think page 155 or 154, he's talking about the fact that the disputed votes are by 1,000. The judge himself said this. It's by 1,000. And the difference between the Honorable Nyindam and the NDC was 3,000, yeah. Is it 700 or 3,200? So 3,700. So the argument was that the argument of the first respondent, in this case Matthew, was that even if it's about 1,000 votes, give it to him. Add that one to their result and see if it will make any difference. It won't make any difference. So there's no need for you to ask for a rerun. And we've been in this country, when it comes to even presidential election, we can have one constituency or two constituencies left, okay, to be declared. If the Electoral Commission says that if we give all the 2 or 3 constituencies vote to candidate A, it won't match up with candidate B. And so for that matter, I don't have to wait until all those 3 constituencies have been declared. I can now, on the basis of this, declare candidate B as an elected person. You understand? So that is how it's done. You don't have to declare everything. If the numbers are said that if you can add all the 1,000 to that of the NDC candidates, and it won't make any difference, why do we bother? So that is why I believe, in my view, the Electoral Commission declared him as a winner, because the votes were overwhelming, 3,200 difference. The contested votes will come up to about 1,000. Why do we wait?
Okay. I think we've been joined by the Chief Whip to put some clarity to all of these discussions, especially with regards to Matthew Nyindam's participation in the House. Grateful to you, sir, for joining us here. We understand that you have some clarifications that you want to make and you want to bring to the discussion. Hello, Mr. Nelson Dafemopo, do we have you?
Yes. Thank you very much. I'm privileged to have joined. I'm watching my roommates. I'm watching my roommates raising some issues that I think that it needs some straightening.
Okay.
Yes, John Daku is a roommate.
Oh, nice. Interesting. Our politics. What did you find?
He hasn't mentioned it too.
Russell and I, we are brothers. We're room together, living laws together.
He said, room, good morning.
Room, good morning.
Okay, so number one, room. You are aware that the EC issued a preliminary gazette notification on 24th December. At that time, we are not concluded the issues on, for instance, Tema Central, or Okaikwe Central, or Okaikwe North, Techiman South, Bandai, Akwetia, Suhum. All those matters were in issue at the time. So EC eventually issued a gazette notification dated 6th January 2025. And that was what they brought to Parliament. And so when we elected Speaker at the dawn of 7th January 2025, that was the release, that is communication to the House, that part of the communication to the House that Speaker read that day, that 7th, early morning, when we were about to swear in the President. Speaker wanted to swear in the President. Those were part of the preliminary issues Speaker read. Because we had been sworn in, but he read that the Gazette notification was dated 7th January. So the 24th December Gazette notification was no longer valid. And your people brought it to Tamale High Court. And they actually filed a preliminary motion to dismiss the petition based on that. the judge dismissed it based on this evidence. And so we proceeded to hear the matter on its merit. So for Gary to now be saying that he's applying for a certiorari at the Supreme Court based solely on the 24th December Gazette notification and not the 6th of January Gazette notification, you know that you are in trouble. I choose my words carefully. You're already in trouble. But I'll leave it. Every other matter had been raised during trial of this matter. As we speak, you have filed a notice of appeal dated 24th November 2025. Gary has come in, filed a notice of change of solicitor, and also filed a notice of appeal pending a notice of appeal. He's also filed an application on notice for stay of execution pending appeal based on his application. The earlier lawyer has also filed a application on notice for stay of execution pending appeal. So we have two sets of applications in this matter. And yet you have proceeded to the Supreme Court to file a judicial review application properly titled a certiorari application. So now you are doing what we call forum shopping. So this matter we will engage this matter this morning on the floor, this afternoon when we convene. We will raise this matter.
If you say you raise this matter, what do you intend to achieve when you raise it on the floor?
The same thing I wanted to achieve last week. Last week I admitted that I failed to advert my mind to the Court of Appeal provision, which is also a provision in the Supreme Court rules. I think Supreme Court rules, if I recall, it is Rule 20, which talks of automatic stay. So there's an automatic stay of 7 days of an appeal. If there's a judgment of the court, you cannot execute it until after 7 days. It is tried. That's the rules of court. And if you recall, my brother, on 7th of January in Parliament, we raised the issue about Nyindam being sworn in. And they told us that they were ready to suffer the consequences in the event that we succeed in court. And so Nyindam must be allowed to be sworn in the same way Akwetia MP2 was sworn in, if you recall clearly. And I shouted across that Nyindam, you are an interim MP. At the appropriate time, we'll take you out.
So you are bent on ensuring that today he does not stay in the House.
Sorry?
You are bent on ensuring that he does not participate in the House today, as you say.
Because he's no longer an MP, a court of law, properly so called, not a circuit court, not a district court, but the High Court has ruled that he's no longer an MP. So if me as the majority chief whip of the ruling government, if we allow him in, I will be disappointing my party people. He cannot be in the House. And this is an order of a court based on a petition that has been heard on its merits. Let us just oppose this against Jachikwesi. In Jachikwesi, while the matter was pending, they brought an injunction. The court heard the injunction on its merits and ruled that Jachikwesi cannot carry himself out as an MP, pending the final determination of the case. The court hasn't heard the case. It says, but in the interim, Jachi, you can't go to Parliament. You can't even go to your office. He didn't even have access to his common fund to do anything. They actually ordered the policemen in Parliament that anytime he stepped here, he should be reported to the police. So my brother Jachikwesi eventually, he has to be hiding until the Supreme Court ordered that there should be a rerun. And then we all went to enough. That is why I said that what was right yesterday must be right today, in accordance with law. So if an interim order can take Jachikwesi out of Parliament, what about the final order of a court? So this claim that he has filed, my brother, my roommate, and we qualified together, he should tell me that he should cite one authority that says that when a stay of an application or notice for stay of execution is filed, it should stay in the hands of the institution or the constitutional body from performing its functions. In fact, the Supreme Court has actually said that, to the contrary, a mere filing of a court process cannot stay in the hand of any statutory body or constitutional body from performing statutory functions or constitutional functions. My own case gave me that authority. Tafiam Mepova is Attorney General. I sought to stop Parliament from vetting ministers of state because I raised constitutional issues about the nomination process of ministers. The Supreme Court said no.
But
this is trite. This matter is trite. Appeal. A notice of appeal does not operate as a stay. Neither does an application or notice for stay of execution also operate as a stay. Only a substantive court order can torpedo another court order.
Against a constitutional body.
Okay, let me bring in John. John, so this is he's saying that just an application does not stay there.
No. So you see, when we are dealing with a constitutional body, that's why I'm saying that the courts have said that you look at each case on its own merit.
Okay.
So when you are trying to restrain a constitutional body from doing its work, the courts is very straight on that the mere filing of that application will not stay in the hands of a constitutional body from doing its work. In this particular case, this is not what is happening.
But the Electoral Commission is the
No. We are not staying in the hands of Electoral Commission. In this particular case, what is happening is that you are denying the right, first of all, the right of the people of Panda to be represented. It is actually the reverse in this case. In this case, if the stay is not granted, the people of Panda will not have a representation. It is different when we are talking about trying to restrain a constitutional body like Electoral Commission or in this case, what he did, Parliament, from doing its job.
But this stay is to which effect? It's not to prevent the execution of this particular judgment, which is saying that rerun the election in 30 days.
So they stay. What they are saying that if you don't stay this judgment, the people of Bandai are not going to be represented.
I get that.
You understand?
I get that. So, but I'm asking in relation to your comment. I'm asking in relation to your comment that you cannot stay in the hand of a constitutional body.
Yes, exactly.
In this case, there's an EC involved.
No. So the stay is the stay of judgment of the court. It's not that you are staying in the hands of the Electoral Commission from doing its job.
Okay.
It's a stay of judgment of the High Court.
Okay.
And when you are staying in the hands of a High Court, it's different from staying in the hands of a constitutional body performing its job.
Okay. That's the difference between raise an issue.
That's the difference between. That's the difference between
the case of Jachikwesen
and this.
The processes were still in court.
But we know what has happened.
Also denied representation.
You know the difference because
he was denied representation.
No, because there was an application for injunction which was heard, and the court ordered that he should stay away. There was an application for injunction. So again, that is the difference between the Jachikwesen case he cited and this one. This one, we don't have any application for injunction
against him.
Okay. So you see, when we're looking at the cases, we must always look at the facts, in their own merit.
Okay.
In this particular case, you don't have that stay of what did you just talk about? We don't have the application for injunction. It hasn't been granted.
Okay.
So it is different from Jachikwesen.
Your colleague wants to come in again.
Yes.
So we have two lawyers. It's good. But Damapo, you want to make a comment?
And maybe before he comes, I'm sorry, hold on. Before he comes,
Let me finish.
He mentioned the 24th December Gazette.
Yes.
Saying that...
So that's preliminary.
No, but here, on the face of it, there's nothing, because if the Electoral Commission wanted to post a preliminary Gazette, they would have stated so. Here, clearly, it stated that this is a Gazette for the election held on 7th December and listed the constituencies. And my brother mentioned some constituencies. The constituencies he mentioned were not part of the ones that I showed to you. In fact, I think he mentioned Bimbila and some other ones, which were not in doubt.
Also mentioned Panda. Was Panda?
No, I'm saying yes.
Was Panda
yes. So I'm saying that he mentioned Panda, he mentioned Bimbila and other ones which were not in contest. No, Akwetia wasn't part of it. You see, my roommate mentioned Akwetia and Tema Central and those contested ones. I'm saying that this gazette did not mention
those that were
in contest. In fact, it was a finalized gazette.
But this gazette included Pandai.
Yes, included that of Pandai.
Okay, anyway.
And so in the eyes of the Electoral Commission, the gazette was a final gazette. There's nothing, if the Electoral Commission wanted to be a preliminary gazette, they would have stated so.
Thank you. Roxanne, we're listening to you.
Hello, can I finish?
Yeah, you can. You can. We're listening.
Okay, so number one, my brother John Daku knows that the High Court is the creator of the Constitution in pursuance of Article 1391. So to say that the High Court is not a constitutional body is erroneous. It's erroneous.
It's something to perform its duty, as in your case. Because this is
not the hand of the constitutional body. It can be done by an application for stay or an injunction. The essence is that a judicial body has stayed your hand. That's number three. Number two. Number three, I am saying that we are basing our decision to get Nyindam out of Parliament based on the final order of a court of law, properly constituted. In the Jachikwensin case, it was an interim order. It was executed. And number four, he's talking about harm. We were holding the Panda seat, and they used wrongful means to take it from us. And our MP has been very quiet. The party has been very quiet, and be painfully going through the judicial process for the past 11 months. So who has suffered a greater harm? Our MP who was denied a continuation in Parliament, or the one who came to Parliament wrongfully? So when they are talking about harm, they should be circumspect in how they make the harm argument. It is Nyindam that is usurping our powers and our functions and our role in Parliament.
Also, when he's been sworn in and dutifully gazetted.
So it is the NDC that has suffered a greater harm here. We have been denied one more member in Parliament. I raised the matter to Nyindam on the 6th, 7th of January. They told me that when the court decides, they will obey. But in the meantime, Nyindam has to be sworn in.
Are you saying that
when the court decides, the Akwetia is willing to suffer the consequences?
Are you saying that on the 7th of January when you...
I wish that you can go back on the 7th of January in the morning when Speaker dealt with these matters, or after we have raised it. That time, it was raised by our majority leader.
I get it, but I want to ask you a question. On the 7th of January, had you gone to court challenging the Pandai seat?
Yes, by 7th of January, we hadn't gone to court. We went to court on the 25th of January.
So on what basis were you challenging him then?
The notification had come and been dated 6th of January. And we're supposed to have done this within 21 days. So we are within time.
No, so I'm asking you that on what basis...
I'm going to send you the 6th January Gazette notification document. It is, let me see.
But
I get it, but I'm only asking, on what basis then were you challenging Nyindam? If you had not gone to court, were you challenging that he should not have been sworn in?
Yes, because we said that there were issues with the declaration. So locally, we had mounted some pressure, and we're asking the Electoral Commission to do recollation. If you remember, we had demanded recollation in a lot of places. And you recall that, for instance, the MPP went to carry Fantiakwa South with a siren, brought it to Tesano police station to be declared. If you recall.
whilst he's looking at it, let me show you the 24th December Gazette, right? It had Panda, it had Bimbila, it had Wulensi. At least what I have here has Zabzugu. I mean, it's just the relevant portion.
Okay.
He had all these
and let me finally say that
which were not in contest.
My brother,
and so the Electoral Commission had published its Gazette finally to the people of Ghana.
Hold on, John Naku, before you make submissions, let me finish. You brought the 24th December Gazette notification to court, and the Electoral Commission told you that the Gazette the properly gazetted notification that they have on record is the 6th of January 1, 2025. The 24th December one was an interim one. It's been discarded, so it is fake. Nobody can rely on that. You came to court to rely on it. It was thrown out. You filed an appeal. You abandoned the appeal. So I don't know what exactly you guys are doing with the 24th December Gazette notification.
Who abandoned an appeal? Because an appeal ongoing. Who abandoned an appeal?
You filed an interlocutory appeal against the decision of the court to dismiss your application, to dismiss the petition.
Listen.
Donaku, this matter, I am so versed in this matter. I know every angle to it. I know all the dates.
But you see, so here's the deal, my brother. I'm saying that this Gazette notification that we have here, 24th December Gazette notification, the Supreme Court is now going to make a decision as to whether it is valid. In your view, it is not valid. But
no, a court has already made a decision. The High Court
No. But I've read the judgment. I've read the judgment. The judgment did not refer. The judgment did not refer to this. The judgment did not refer to this.
And so, Electoral Commission and conduct a search in Parliament.
Gentlemen, let's make progress.
The Supreme Court will have to make a decision.
Let's make progress.
The notification, the Gazette notification of December 24 is valid.
I'm grateful. But do you still have Honorable Dafem on the line? Okay. I mean, I just want to ask one question. If you look at the judgment, there is no order directed at Parliament. So why wouldn't you allow the EC to decide what to do before Parliament comes in? Okay. Anyway, because when you look at the judgment, Parliament is not. There's no order directed at Parliament. So, but yeah.
For me, that judgment will not have any legs to stand on when it's really subject to scrutiny at the Court of Appeal. Of course, so there are two legs now: the Supreme Court one, and then the Court of Appeal one. And having read the judgment and how the judge arrived at his decision, I believe that this judgment will be thrown out.
Thank
and
you.
especially when you look at the fact that he used some mathematics to declare the whole constituency election null and void when there are only a handful of polling stations that were in contest.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Let's make progress here on the show. Let's move on to the Zipline conversation, because
I raised those valid questions that the issue of Gazette notification, they did come up at the trial.
Well,
and according to Chief Whip, it was raised and it was dismissed at the trial in Tamale.
The Supreme Court will
so
let's see.
It's very.
But today we're being told by the Health Minister that Zipline was only doing 12% flies into hard-to-reach areas, and that 4% of the operations was also for delivering emergency solutions to hospitals. But then we're being made aware that Zipline was carrying condoms, test books, exercise books, and what have you. Mr. Moni, I'm sure when Zipline was launched, we all had hope for it. I mean, hearing this, how does it come to you as someone who was hopeful that this is a game changer in our health delivery?
As you rightly hinted, it was started as a flagship program, as an innovative spark in our health system. And His Excellency Dr. Mamadou Bawumia has been frontal in touting the achievement of Zipline, only for us to hear yesterday from the Health Minister, Honorable Akando, that Zipline is underperforming as far as the contract.
But doesn't it intrigue you that Zipline could carry textbooks and exercise books? How many textbooks, how many exercise books?
This is something we need to interrogate. We need to put on a journalistic skepticism. Journalists are trained to doubt, so we need to go further. And how come? So this question needs to be raised, we need to put out, we need to interrogate, we need to unravel whatever the minister said and go to the bottom of the matter. Is it true that Zipline was set up to airlift blood, and now they are going contrary to what it was established? So we need to, in the name of comprehensive journalism, we need to go through what the minister said. But what to me, what is heartwarming in the whole news conference by the minister is that the contract is yet to be abrogated. The two sides haven't got into that line, let alone to cross. So, because the Constitution underlines the need for successive government to continue in the directive principles of state policy, to continue projects started by the previous government. So, if we don't take care and then we play to the gallery by cancelling projects or contracts executed under previous government, we end up nowhere. It will be a drawback to our democracy. So, whilst going to the details, trying to unravel the circumstances under which the minister made the revelation, and how true are the revelations? Were they overbloated? Were they done with a contrary motive or something? So we, as a journalist, as the media community, your station has a reputation of unearthing scoops. So it's under scoop in the waiting. So let's go out there and use our journalistic lenses to bring to the consumption of the public what Zipline has actually achieved, what are the causal factors of their underachievement, and then what lesson do we learn from this, and why it's also safeguarding the need for safeguarding contract between government and the business community.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Kojo, before the health minister came out, the issue came up on the floor of Parliament. And you heard the majority leader. And I am convinced to go by his line of argument.
Why not?
He was looking at
you don't know this
the cost involved. Senior money. Zipline is costing us in excess of 170 million a year. So, the argument is for 4 years, it is about 700 million. That's 680 million for 4 years, and 8 years. You are talking about 1.6 billion, getting to 1.8 billion. So, the majority leader's argument is Ghana Health Service, and for that matter, the Minister of Health, should be able to provide this service. If you look at the amount of money going into this one, we don't have choppers for emergency evacuations and all those things. So why don't we use that money to procure, because with 4 years, 700 million,
but honestly,
we can build our own infrastructure. We can build our own infrastructure and deal with these situations and more, get choppers out of it. Again, he was raising issues of access roads and bridges to hard-to-reach areas, and we're saying it is difficult for ambulances and vehicles to access those areas. Looking at the money going into this contract, percentage of it, small percentage, could be used to do some of the roads, while Ghana Health Service takes possession of the drone services, if we want to, looking at the amount involved in this deal. And I think it is a call in the right direction. Okay. So it is about time that we look at the healthcare delivery in totality, especially emergency evacuation. Okay. We can get about 2-3 choppers with the amount of money going into this contract. At the same time, once we establish this facility, it is for us forever, rather than paying them on an annual basis. Now, if we are not able to pay, the contract is abrogated, and the service will be no more. Why don't we, as a nation, build a multimodal system of transporting medical products and facilities to all corners of the country?
Have not done that. You have to let this one go when it's delivering these essential services.
That is what we are saying. So how much is involved? Okay. This year, if you look at the budget, I don't know how much has been budgeted for. All right. But with 170 million being added to the budget of the Ministry of Health, it will do a lot. And when you also embarking on any project, you do social impact assessment. That is why Senior rightly said it's important we find out how many people are benefiting from it and the cost involved. Okay. Can we achieve the same with little?
Thank you.
These are the issues we need to look at.
Grateful. John, yes, in the next 1 minute, please.
No, but so I think that it is okay that at every point in time review government policies. I don't think that there's something so extraordinary wrong with reviewing a government policy, but you need to look at the effect of what you are doing. But just before I even go on, my brother seems to suggest that the 174 million he saw is what government was paying Zipline every year. I don't have the figures, but I doubt, because if you look at the minister's own statement, which is reported in this newspaper, he says that we owe them 174 million.
He's talking about areas for last year, the 1 year.
It's accumulated.
No. On the floor, majority leader said we're spending 170 million.
See, my brother, for that, we cannot take, even though he's our leader, I don't think that we can take his word as the gospel, because of that, you've done some maths here, which is leading us into billions of cedis in 3 years or in 4 years. Let's be very careful, because the 174 million is the total debt owed to them. It's not as if every year 174 million is going to them. Is going to Zipline. Let's put that down. But I believe that there was a very good reason for the Zipline policy to be able to reach difficult areas with medical equipment. And when the minister was talking, he mentioned the kind of things they've been sending as if they don't mean anything. He mentioned what? Needles. Condoms. Well, he probably mentioned condoms. He mentioned needles, syringes. No, syringes. And then there's another one, textbooks and
exercise books.
No. There's one say food supplements and even mosquito nets. Mention mosquito net. I say mosquito net is not important for villages.
No, but you have to elevate them when you can have
that. So if, for example, you have
because
a space,
it is for emergency.
No, if you have a space, you are lifting some materials and you want to add mosquito net to it. I don't think that it should be so bad.
But maybe 1 minute.
I didn't finish.
Time is up.
But just to say that we need to take the medical facilities. We need to be very serious about it. We shouldn't shortchange the village people just because they don't live in Accra, they don't have money like we do. We shouldn't scrap Zipline on altar of political expediency just because we don't live in the villages. The people who live in the villages, they need the service.
Okay. For you 1 minute, just to amplify
our time.
Amplify the call by the Media Commission, the latest one.
Okay.
For responsible, ethical, and accountable journalism.
Okay.
Following the ruling by the NMC on a petition brought by Adamus Resources Limited, especially against its CEO, Angela Liz, who has been a target of outlandish allegations, of slanderous accusations and libelous publications.
What was that ruling?
The ruling came up, was done recently. They had a case in September Okay. But the NMC just issued a release.
Okay.
So we send a copy to you because this should guide us. Journalism is about disseminating falsehood.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you. Let's wrap up this news review with a statement from the Menchia Palace. It says, His Majesty Otumfuo said to the second Asantehene today rounded off his mediation effort in the Boko chieftaincy crisis with a face-to-face meeting between the contending parties at the Menchia Palace Jubilee Hall, Kumasi. Chief Tarana John Wuni Gruma, Paramount Chief of Tarana Traditional Area and spokesperson of the Nairi, led a 30-member delegation to represent His Majesty Na Bohugu Mahame Abdullahi Sheriga, the Nairi and overlord of the Mamprugu and Mamprosis, while Naba Tambis Balug, Paramount Chief of Pusiga, led the delegation representing the Boko Naba, Zugran Asigri Abugrago Azoka II, and the Kusasi people. Honorable Cletus Afoka acted as spokesperson for the Kusasi delegation, with Dr. Issa as spokesperson for the Nairi and Mamprosis. Both delegations comprise of chiefs, lawyers, academics, opinion and youth leaders. After spending several months listening to both parties, presenting their argument in separate meetings, His Majesty had brought both sides to speak directly to each other in a final effort to explore a pathway to lasting resolution of the issues that have persistently undermined the peace in the Boko traditional area. The meeting was held in a cordial atmosphere with both sides, emphasizing the fact that they are one people who have no reason to be at war with each other. His Majesty thanked both sides for their civility and maturity and urged them to remember that whatever the outcome of the mediation, they would have to live together as brothers and sisters. He urged the leaders to start preparing the minds of their supporters to be prepared to put an end permanently to violence and disorder in their communities. His Majesty announced that he would submit his report with his proposal to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama in the next few days. He hoped that the President would act expeditiously and convene a formal meeting of all interested parties to announce the outcome of the mediation mission, and this signed by Kofi Bedu, Chief of Staff. So this is a statement coming from the Menchia Palace. Let's say happy birthday to Mrs. Comfort Ano. The message says, we thank God for your life and the strength, grace and love He continues to pour into you each day. May He bless you with good health, long life, and an unending joy. You are cherished more than words can express. From Auntie Ruth and your children, Annabelle and Kissi, we love you dearly and celebrate you today and always. Happy birthday, Mrs. Comfort Ano. This is how we end the news review. Those who join us today, Dickson Kyere-Duah, MP for Berekum West, Afel Moni is former president of GJA, and John Dako is MP for Swami. And we're also joined on the phone by Nelson Roxon Afiamapo, the majority chief whip and MP for South Dai. Yeah. AM Show is sponsored by Short Silicon Paint from Azar Group, Syntax Pipes, and Time About Mix. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. You know,
the future of mobility
conference, and Leslie Arthur is founder of Energy Quest Foundation, convener of the Era E-Mobility Conference. Leslie, good morning. How are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm especially seeing a female, a beautiful female. It sparks the morning. So I'm glad that they brought you.
Thank you.
Godfred, who is the showroom manager of Drive EVGH. Godfred, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm well. I'm doing fantastic.
Great.
Let me start with you now. What is the Electronic Revolution Africa Mobility Conference all about?
Okay, so we often call it Era E-Mobility Conference. Era meaning Electric Revolution Africa. So this is a conference that has been curated to help propel the growth of e-mobility industry across Africa. This is the second edition of this conference. Last year was amazing. I mean, we were able to achieve so much of the objectives that were set. The focus then was to take off with a push on innovation and sustainability. This year, our theme is on clean green investments. This is because for a new industry of that sort to thrive, it needs lots of investments on all angles. And for us, we do not count e-mobility as an automobile on the street. or just a car. But for e-mobility, we're talking about technology, we're talking about renewable energy, we're talking about developments, economic development, because this has the aspects of value addition to our lithium, which can be further developed into batteries and a whole lot. So e-mobility for us is a whole industry. It's a very interesting conversation and a big economic one, not just a climate conversation, but a big economic conversation. So that's what ERA e-mobility is about.
And why is it necessary that we have this, especially in Ghana?
Okay, so you know, it's amazing how Africa sits back every time there's new technology or new opportunities, and then we step in when the ship has sailed. But this time, what we are doing is that we are taking the bull by the horn. This started off elsewhere. China picked it up, and they are running the industry. About 70% of valuable EVs are coming from China. What are we doing as Africa when we hold most of the minerals that should be able to make this technology work? Okay, because most of that, whether cobalt, lithium, and the like, that is a major component of this technology is coming right from Africa. So we cannot sit back and wait and have others make the best of it. So what we are trying to do is start off early. This is not too early, but it's better late than ever. Start off early and see what true value we can make of e-mobility. Okay. Beyond just economic value and what's not, to the individual as well. Electric vehicles are a big plus for us. It's cheaper to drive, you know. I mean, everybody wants to save something in the pocket. So if you personally use an EV, you're not maintaining a car per se, because it doesn't have an engine, which actually takes up most of the expense in our servicing. When you talk of the commercial end as well, that also would mean that we should have cheaper transportation. So, I mean, this is why the Ministry of Transport is keen on e-mobility. This is why our president has also seen the essence of the green transition. That's why in Ghana now we have the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, yes, because there's so much value in the green transition. E-mobility, it comes with a plus of renewable energy industry also being developed. So this is an all-encompassed industry. It's a great conversation to have. It's a line that we need to set policies well and develop it and make the best of it. So this is why the Energy Quest Foundation has taken it upon itself to ensure that we set the ball rolling in time and the value of it. Yes.
You're saying that we are ready as a country for electric vehicles?
We really are, very, very much. You know, some people would say, how much power do we have to be able to run the e-mobility industry or to be able to have electric vehicles? But really, we have more than enough power. We very much have more than enough power. But even that aside, I believe that we cannot have all tentacles all angles of it all set before we can move. If we show ourselves ready for investment, that's when you attract an investor. So if an energy company wants to produce more power and you're proving you have an industry that will take up that power, why not? They would come and invest in there. So,
I'll bring you Godfred now. Godfred, what will these 2 days, bring to the table? What will it achieve?
Yeah, so like she said, we are all keen to promoting the e-mobility and then the green energy in Ghana here. So I believe within these 2 days, everyone will get a chance to experience the e-mobility, the electric vehicles, and then how important is it as a country for us to switch so early, and also saving the environment, saving your pocket. It's a whole lot. So I feel like, yes, everyone should come and then experience this.
When is it happening? Where is it happening?
Yeah, so it's happening tomorrow.
Yes, so tomorrow and Thursday, so 3rd and 4th December at Alisa Hotel. You can register to be part of the main conference. And then also the EV experience is in 3 parts. We have the dialogue, we have the exhibition, and we have the EV experience. You can test drive an EV, you can experience a 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, a 4-wheeler. It's a whole experience.
Okay.
So that part is free. You can just register and be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come and drive.
That is where Drive EV comes in. So we are going to be pulling up with a lot of cars, you know, with SUVs, with small cars, with pickups, with luxurious cars and all of that. So no matter the amount of money you have, your pocket, we have a car for you. You can just come around and then do a test drive, see for yourself how important it is to switch to EV.
I'll come and drive one of the big ones. I love big ones.
We are here for you.
But how will you measure the success of this conference?
Okay, so I'll first take you back to the past year where the conversations brought about fine-tuning of some of... We already launched our EV policy, okay, but we need to have industry dialogue on it so that its implementation would be effective and practical as well. So this conference would have that primary result of helping us redefine and be able to implement this policy right. We're going to have the Ministry of Transport representative from Ethiopia with us. We're also going to have representative from Rwanda who has very much developed in the EV industry. So we are going to bring in other jurisdictions that have already implemented their policies right now, doing amazing. So we can learn from... Exactly. Okay. So we're going to have great thought leadership at this conference.
So you have to be there tomorrow and Thursday at the Elisa Hotel. Starting what time?
At 8:30 a.m. till 5 p.m.
5. Okay. So no matter what point in time within the day, you have a free chance pass by. And I'm told multimedia is involved in this.
Yes. Multimedia is doing amazing. Very few media houses do understand the essence of sustainability and new technology and what's not. So I would say a big thank you to Multimedia for supporting. Multimedia will be there throughout the conference to be able to promote and also to be able to put out the message and everything that would happen at the conference. Yes.
Thank you very much. Leslie Arthur for coming. Leslie Arthur is a founder, Energy Quest Foundation, convener of the Era E-Mobility Conference, and also Godfrey Owusu, a showroom manager of Drive EV GH. Thanks for coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more. To the AM show, we have a conversation with Nanaya Jantua. She is a senior presidential staffer, and you know her. She's been around for far too long, especially when it comes to energy matters. You remember her for her role at PRC some time ago, right? Nana, good morning to you. Hope all is well.
All is well. I'm a bit tired, but I'm okay.
It shall be well, you know. Let's start from this WASI result.
Oh, my brother. You want to depress me this
No, I'm not depressing you. Hey. But I guess as a mother, there's, you know, when you saw...
No. I don't know what's going on. Good morning to your viewers and good morning to everybody. Good morning to yourself. Merry Christmas. We are in the Christmas.
Exactly, yes.
The Christmas month. I even heard, the most depressing one is when I heard that it's not only mathematics, but social studies.
Okay.
You know, mathematics has this myth around it that it's difficult.
Yeah.
But social studies is a reading subject. I mean, I am just like, what's going on? But you see, it's a myriad of reasons, and we should not put responsibility on only the kids. Parents are involved. Teachers are involved. Our own environment is involved. Look at social media. It's so open.
Yeah.
We should find a way to regulate it. Young ones are so much interested in social media that sometimes they forget about their books. The economic environment is also taking a lot from parents. And most time parents are not at home and they leave these young ones to themselves. We also forget that, I always tell people that we forget that the senior high school is like, the secondary school is like the sixth form and part of the second part of the secondary school in those days.
Yeah.
Because
but now we don't get to a sixth form. Now we truncate at 3.
But I'm saying that the age at which they get there, they are not children anymore. You get to the BEC at age 12. You do 3 years BEC. you're about 14, 15. Yeah. By 16, 17, you are going into SS.
Yes.
You do 3 years there. Do you get me? So you are about maybe 18, 19. You are old. Do you get me? Yeah. And if you leave them on their own, they will explore. I think that parents should do more. 70% of the parents of the issues rely with parents. Because if your child is doing an exam or is in the process of preparing for an exam, you should be able to ensure that that young one is not distracted. Because if you do not ensure that that young one is not distracted, this is what we see. People are also talking about maybe before they used to have some past questions. I don't know about that. Those ones were speculation.
As for past questions, we've always had it.
We've always had it. Do you get it? There are so many things people are saying because it does not make the number is too huge. Yeah. Was there a problem? Didn't they understand the questions? Do you get me? And I also blame you men.
Okay, why?
Yeah, because these days when you close, instead of coming home, you go and chill with friends. Okay. You go sit chill with friends. By the time you get home, the young ones are asleep.
So we're able to supervise them.
Yes, you leave the bringing up of the young ones with the women alone.
It's too much of work.
Yes, it's not even not too much. It's not for nothing that the Bible says that the man is the head of the house. You get me? Yeah. See a young man misbehaving. When the mother is around, they just do it. But the father enters. Just one gaze.
Normalizes.
It normalizes everything. To blame the men. The children not also. You should reduce the children.
But can we be blamed for that?
Yes, you should be blamed. Because most of you guys are not available. And you should be available for your children, whether out of wedlock or in wedlock.
Interesting.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
You should be there. You should be there guiding them. Asking, have you done your homework? Which part of the course you are finding difficulty with? Do you get me? Because these young ones these days, they like shortcut ways.
But isn't it why we even employ additional teachers to take them on extra classes?
If additional teachers take them on extra class, the teachers teach. They don't force them to learn. That is what, yes, because the period of extra class, if you say one hour, is just making up. We all went through extra classes. There's always a deficit in the syllabus that you are not able to cover. So that is where the extra classes will cover. But the teacher doesn't force the child to learn within that 1 hour. It's when you come home, or when you're on vacation, or when you have the free time. The success of a student is when you study beyond hours. That is when you make success. And everybody studies in a different way. Me, if I have a book to study as a student when I was in school, I'll pick a book like this and write. So when I write, it gets stuck. And I have to sit in a classroom to listen. When I listen, it gets stuck. So everybody has their way of learning. And you need to study your child to know which of the ways is okay.
But what about the education system? Because normally, the senior high school kids are in school.
Yeah.
What do we need to change about the educational system in the midst of this performance that we're seeing?
No, they are in school. And I don't know if the double track, before there was double track, but it wasn't like this. Do you get me? Yeah. We need to look at what actually happened. Everybody is talking, but we haven't taken the time to interrogate. Because you see, these students started from 2022, right?
Yeah,
or 23?
2022, yeah.
2022, 2022, 2023, 2024, 25. Do you get me? So what has happened? Because the final exam, I believe it is what they have learned from first year to the final year. So what has really happened? Instead of us talking, there should be a committee to interrogate what has happened. Because it is serious. A written English paper and one with calculation, and you are also saying science. 3 together is a problem.
Well, once we are on education, let's stay with education. We'll talk about Wesley girls. You are a woman. So these Wesley girls issues with
day not allowing the Muslim girls to pray or observe fast. What should we do? What should be the way forward now?
We should not put stokes in it. We should not try to invoke the matter. I don't think there is anything. Okay. If you're a Muslim girl, a Christian girl, you go to a Muslim school, a Christian man, a boy, you have to adhere to the rules. But provision should be made for people to worship. For instance, in Catholic schools, where I went to one of them, the Protestants were given the opportunity to worship. But the morning mass, everybody will go to the morning mass. You also learn about other denominations. So, because doing your Muslim prayer, you can even do it by your bed. I don't think anybody will stop you if you want to pray by your bed. Maybe it's the issue with the hijab. That's one. What does the rules in the school say? When you were taking your child, you knew what the rules were. Sometimes you have to also not be too strict. You can also vary the rules a bit for people to be comfortable. We need to also define what the hijab stands for. Is it for married people? Is it for all Muslim girls? If you're a Muslim girl and you are not wearing it. For instance, at a point in my life, I went to a Muslim school. The girls there were not wearing it. What has happened that now they are wearing it? Do you get me? So we need to look at all these things. But we are stoking it too much.
Over the weekend, the Interior Minister was on his file, and he revealed that students are made to spy on Muslim students if they are
praying.
Exactly.
That one, we can't tell. It should be evidence-based.
But that's the minister, the Interior Minister.
Yeah, maybe he has information that nobody has. We should also hear from the Education Minister, because I know by now he has also sent people to find out what is going on. So this is information. If that is what it is, then it is not good. So spy to punish or spy to do what? We need to find out. That as they spy on these young ones, are they spying on them so that they will be punished? We need to find out. We need to go further. And because you see, the Wesley Girls High School is a mission school.
Yeah.
It's a Methodist mission school. They have their principles. They have what they believe in. Do you get me? So at the end of the day, once you want to go to that school, I know some Muslim people who went to Wesley Girls. Lara Tumusasaka of the MPP. She went to Wesley Girls High School. And she's a Muslim. What happened then should happen today. It shouldn't be any different. And I heard people saying that, we have to get schools for our Muslim girls and boys. No. We have lived very peacefully as a people. Do you get it?
Yeah.
We have
but there are Muslim schools.
Yeah, there are Muslim.
Yeah,
Ahmadiyya is there. There are so many of them. But I'm saying that if a girl wants to go to Wesley Girls High School, she should be able to go. If a Christian wants to go to Tiame, there are so many Christians in Tiame. If a Christian wants to go to Tiame, which is a very good school, because it's a Muslim school, people don't see the level, but it's a very good school. Produce so many great people in this country. Do you get me? So the point is that we need not stoke it. If indeed they are spying on these young ones when they pray, it has to be stopped. Why spy on them? Why do you want to spy on them? What is the rationale? Because they also have a faith they believe in. And if even at this age they believe in something that is the supreme being, it means you are bringing up some kind of good young ones, especially women. The issues of morality, the issues of consciousness, the issues of integrity, if it's imbibed in them at this age, I believe that it is great. So I don't think it's very good if truly the school is spying. And they should come and respond. A minister has said something. If it is not true, come and tell us it is not true. If it is true, then stop it. You don't have to do that. It is wrong.
The tolerance that we've enjoyed in this country should
continue, yes. Because we have a country where the national chief imam of the Islamic community contributes to the building of the cathedral.
Yes.
The national chief imam goes to the Catholic Church for a funeral, sits in church, sits through the service. It's beautiful. Do you get me?
Those are tolerance.
The tolerance we are. even these days, you find that some of our young men are marrying Muslim men, are marrying Christian ladies. Do you get me? I met a young woman at a shop, and she told me that her husband, she's a Christian. She told me her husband is a Muslim. So I asked, how do you cope? She said, we cope. If there's an event in church, I go with him. If there's an event at the mosque, he go. I say, okay, that's beautiful. But the point is that you don't have to force people to believe in your faith. You can talk to them if you want to convert them, but you can't force them. You cannot force them. So what is happening, I think we should really find a way to deal with the matter. We should not be dogmatic about it.
Okay, all right. I like that word. We shouldn't be dogmatic about the whole thing.
Yes.
After all, we're one people.
We are one people.
Yeah. Let me bring you to your area, tariffs. That's what you've really dealt in for quite some time. Recently, there was an increment in tariffs.
Has there been increments?
Yes, October. In October 5,
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Oh, but yeah, it is
October 5, there was no tariff. Was it the 1%?
Yes, 1.14%.
The 1.14%.
That's an increment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when inflation is going down, we thought that then.
No, but that was in October. That's why we got that low type. We know because of this IMF program, we need to stay on the automatic adjustment formula.
All right.
It is a requirement.
But will we ever see a reduction in inflation, the downward trend continues?
Yes, we'll see a reduction when all the parameters are good. We should understand that the parameters are not only inflation and
they are strengthened.
The exchange rates. We should also have other parameters, availability of the fuel that you use, gas, availability of the level of the hydro dam.
We have too much gas now.
Yes, but we put all together because even the load, how much electricity you have to generate, especially going into this hot season. There are so many parameters that come into play. And that's when you look at the revenue requirements, what the utility service providers need. For instance, we have the grid. We need grid stability, especially at the eastern corridor, Salaga and those northern environments. You see that there is a lot of instability, brownouts, voltage issues. We need to strengthen the grid. When you see the grid has to be blue, but it's red. And we need to really put some investment into the grid. You see, when we are talking about availability of electricity, we always look at generation. But when you do distribution, transmission can also bring about issues of unavailability of generation, of electricity.
So you're saying the grid is red now?
Yes, we need to strengthen the grid. But when we were doing we didn't engage media fully. We engaged you.
When it's red, what does it mean?
It means that there are lots of voltage issues.
Okay.
Do you get me? It is not strengthened.
Okay.
So anytime you feel your power, either you lose some or you don't get the right kind of quality and all that. So we need to strengthen the grid a little bit further. Like as I'm talking about the Salaga, remember there was an issue with the electricity in Salaga on the Netco areas. And these are issues that has to do with voltages. You need to strengthen the voltages at the grid and also at the distribution levels so that we get some quality electricity. You know, the issue with balancing the two, ensuring the financial viability of the utility service provider, whilst at the same time ensuring that there is good quality of service. And you need to balance it. And especially, we need to also do a tariff that is close to the cost of service. The cost, we might not get cost recovery, but cost of service. You get me? That's how much, yes, you're a business person. How much did I use to produce this bag of rice? And how much am I going to sell it? You get me? The utilities, we allow 8% rate of return on their investments. But even sometimes they don't even get it because of all the issues that are surrounding what they do. So it is not only when we are doing the tariff, it's not only the two parameters. The parameters are key, especially exchange rate and inflation, because the exchange rate is a very key component because most of the activities, especially with the wires business, that is Gridco, and ECG are denominated in dollars. Whatever they buy, their helmets, their cable. They buy some of the
city has strengthened. So
yes, it has strengthened. Yes, maybe we could have gotten more if not for the city strengthening. Because from 2024, tariffs were done that was not passed on. So if you don't pass it on, then you leave a deficit in their revenue requirements. And once you leave a deficit in their revenue requirements, it means they are not financially viable.
Okay.
So then you need to shore up that deficit and at least bring it closer a bit to where they can be able to do what they have to do.
So what is going to happen to the request by Ghana Water and the electricity company?
All of them, yeah.
Yes, for that, they were requesting for over 100%.
Oh, we said, you remember we said that the decision variable will kick in, and when we do the tariffs, an art and a science, we need to look at the exigencies of the time. We need to see if really they need that amount of money they are looking. A lot of interrogation goes into it. So at the end of the day, the commission will come out with a certain tariff.
When is that going to come out?
I don't know. We are still talking about it. We are still looking at the final figures. We are looking at the arts and the science. And at the end of the day, the commission will announce a tariff.
What I was asking for is 230%.
230%. So we look at
because of Galamsey.
Because of Galamsey. Galamsey is really a problem because now we are using 400% of the chemical they used to use before. And now instead of alum, they are using polymer. Polymer is more expensive to, chemicalize the water and clean it up. You get me? So Ghana Water is going through a lot. And 1/3 of their work is electricity because they have to pay for all the electricity they use. So 1/3 of their tariff represents whatever is given to electricity, and the rest is for their operations. So Ghana Water has a lot of work to do, and they need some money to be able to do what they have to do.
With your experience, from 230, how much down do you think?
Oh, we will give them what they need. That will enable them be financially viable and also give us the quality. As for the figures, they will bring it, but we will also do our independent work, and we also look at the art of it. Look at what we, in our view, will not be too much of a burden on the consumer of water and electricity. Especially water is key. Water is even almost like a social good. It is almost like a human right. But what is important is that we need to have potable water. Potable water that we can use even on our skins. If we have too much issues with the water, with all the things that are going on with Galamsey, even if you are just bathing with it, it can bring some erosion to the surface of it.
So do we prepare for like 100% increment?
I can't tell. We haven't finished our work.
But from where the consultations are going?
Oh, now we finished the consultations. We are now doing practical work, and we want to see. Yesterday we met. We will meet today to see what exactly we have to look at. As you said, the exchange rate is good, the inflation is good, even projecting into the first quarter of next year. And remember, this is a multi-year tariff. It's 5 years. It is not automatic adjustment formula. So we are looking at all the parameters that underpins the work of the utilities. We are looking at all the assumptions that we need to look at. We are looking at all the scenarios, going deeper. You remember we had an investment hearing to find out what kind of investment that they need, what kind of investment that we have to pass on through the tariff, what can wait to maybe later on, immediately, what will strengthen the grid, what will help ECG do their work, what will help VRE and the IPPs even give us generation of electricity. So we will look at all this, and we are still looking at it. Immediately we are done, we announce a tariff for Ghanaians to know.
And once we have concessionaire in ECG, it probably would help matters.
Yes, the PSP. Yes, we are looking at putting some private sector into the ECG so that it will bring some efficiency. We are still working on it. We've put the framework together among the committee. I'm the chairman for the Stakeholder Management Committee of the.
When I appeared before it, I saw you.
Yes, So we now have to put. We have put a framework together. Now we are going to put a plan in place for a roadshow where we have to engage and talk to Ghanaians about exactly what we are looking at. And we hope that at the end of the day, it will bring some sanity into our distribution.
You're a woman, so let's talk about EC. The attempt to hound her out.
Nobody's hounding her out. I don't know.
Oh, really? So we shouldn't use the word hound.
No.
Okay.
You see, let's be very truthful.
Okay.
Jean changed.
Oh, really?
Yes. Me, I was in IPAC. Remember, I was the General Secretary.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was in IPAC. And I was so, even though I wasn't happy with Charlotte, how she was treated, I was okay when I heard Jean was going to take over because of IEA. So we saw her as maybe a very straight person, somebody who was astute, credible, but it turned out to be something else. If we talk about misbehavior, she misbehaved. Jean did not do well. We have so many examples. We can take a case to court, Jean doesn't care. Did you get me? Issues that we have that, I mean, we as political parties, we are not happy about. We will take it to court and Jean doesn't even care. We want to have a discussion with her on matters pertaining to elections. She doesn't care. It's not that I'm bringing her down, but that is the truth. I used to make excuses for her. I even thought that she was being, she looked so much afraid. I also thought that somebody was, pushing her around. She had all these military men around her. I didn't see that one around Aferijan. I didn't see that one with Charlotte. But in her case, she was always jittery and as if shaking. Jean is the friend to my brother. And I'm like, what is this? You remember 2020, that election? We announced it, or we did the calculation 5 times. Different figures were coming out. 2024, after political parties have announced their results, hers was not out yet. And always I am not MPP, I'm not for MPP.
But she shouldn't rush.
But I commend.
She should get it right.
No, but the country was on some form of red alert.
Oh, but the flag of the opposition.
That is what I am. That's what I'm coming to. For that one, we should always give credibility to His Excellency Ebaumia, because he came out. So if he didn't have the mechanism to get the results, how was he going to accept? And Jean took almost 5 days.
Because she has to be factual, you know.
So if he was,
she did some. She got it.
So I'm saying that. So what did Baumia concede on? It wasn't factual. It was almost. It was factual.
Yeah,
yes.
It is. Yeah.
It was almost close to what Jean brought. Do you get me?
Okay.
And His Excellency Mahmoud Baumia conceded because he had the mechanism. So why didn't Jean, as EC chair, also have the same kind of technology, the same kind of platform to be able to give us the results in time? At that point, if he hadn't conceded, people were on edge. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But he came out to concede because he put in place a platform that was able to give him the results in real time. And he came out and he exhibited some kind of, he's not my person. But for that one, he exhibited statesmanship. And Jean was sitting down there. Jean has misbehaved, whether we like it or not. You see, it's not about women. She has. She does certain things that is as if she look, there were times that even the MPP in IPAC were not happy with it.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope that next time we can have a longer time to have this. That Nana Agyebeng, a senior presidential staffer. Good morning to you, Vincent Blechi-Essien. He is with GCB Bank, wherever you are, sir. Good morning to you. Name is Mr. Vincent Blechi-Essien. And then to you, Lawyer Michui, good morning to you as well, wherever you are. This is it. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of the AM Show. We'll come here again, God willing, tomorrow. Until then, please be good.